is Raph. I am playing Grinner, a barbarian human running from his past as an ex-soldier, now turned mercenary.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Luther. He's a Dampier. He is a fighter that specializes in firearms, a bit of an investigator, and I am the great uncle of Grinner.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm playing Tifla, the Goblin Ranger. She is a wonderful hunter and medical genius.
Hi, I'm Haz. I'm playing Theodore Ursa, the satyr druid, who's a kind of a charismatic druid who's unwillingly taken Tifla under his wing as she's followed him through the forest for the past few months.
Hi, my name is Josh. I am from the Roll Together RPG stream, and I will be playing Killian Maxwell, a half-elf warlock who has come to Barovia. He was with the party previously but has lost them and has joined up with the Tempest Guild on their adventures.
G'day, I'm Tom. I'm playing Jonal, the Asimir wizard. He is on the pursuit of good and evil, finding out the best and worst in this world, and he's doing that with a little bit of naivety and optimism.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd campaign.
Hello everyone!
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Lost Archives. It is wonderful to have you all joining us again for our Curse of Strahd campaign. And a massive thank you to everyone who came out and joined me yesterday at the Collectors Market in Brisbane, the Distillery Road Markets in Eagleby, for the the live in-person session. I'm so used to saying the word live stream. The live in-person session of D&D hosted by Christian from Hermes D&D Services. We had an awesome time getting dressed up in cosplay. It's the first time I've ever actually cosplayed as like a thing in a public event. Like, I've gotten dressed up for parties before. One of Raf's mates had a Skyrim Winter Solstice party fairly recently this year. So I went in for that hardcore because I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm all in for this. I did reuse the tunic from that costume, obviously, because what else was I going to do? But yeah, absolutely massive thank you to everyone who came along. It was such a fun session. There is a recording of it. It is being audio optimized. We did have one or two teething audio issues at the very, very beginning of the session that were resolved. They are working on the optimized version of the audio. I do not yet know where it is going to be published on, whether we will get a copy. That's still in discussion. But once we know where it is, I will send a link. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast, if I already have that link, check in the video description or in the pinned comment, because it's likely there right now and you can click on it. Future. So that's going to be lots of fun if you do want to check that out. It was loads of fun. For those of you who want to see pictures of the event or see what I was wearing, don't panic. I have all of the pictures ready to upload. Including some really, really nice, sexy ones of me rolling dice with the most intense look of concentration on my face you've ever seen, and a little booger hanging out my left nostril. So don't panic. I have all those photos and more glamour shots.
That's part of the cosplay. That's fine. That's part of the outfit. That's authentic. That wasn't you. That was the character.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, he's right. It was, yeah. So all of those pictures they will be on the Discord. They'll also be uploaded to Twitter. I'll check them on the Facebook page too. Why not? And if you want copies of the close-ups of the booger, our OnlyFans account. No, I'm not going to make that joke. I'll check some pictures up because it was loads and loads of fun. We had a great time. That is the only real big announcement I have to make, except for those of you watching on Twitch. This is only for you, Twitch viewers. At the end of this episode, we are recording an intro for Josh. If you are listening to this on YouTube or on the podcast, you've already heard it. It just happened. I was very slow to do this. I apologize. I can only apologize. But I do now have the cognitive load and the ability to record this. So at the end of this session, we'll be recording the intro for Josh and his character Killian. I'll have that already added onto the front of the intro by the time you're watching this on the recorded version. So Twitch people, next time you see us go live, there will be the proper intro for Josh. Finally.
And he dies this episode.
Oh, I swear to God. If you do, I swear to God.
So sorry, I forgot to tell you I'm leaving after today.
Oh. Do you know what, though? I can still edit this out, so it's not that big a deal. I'm just a liar to the Twitch community.
You promised it to the
No,
Twitch.
we'll refer back to it like that time that Raph said.
Oh, no. Okay. That's all the fun announcements I have to make. You make one mistake and you are never allowed to let it go. And it's not even my mistake, but I feel like I am a sufferer of it.
Still step up from the Maisie Peters thing. So.
Why are you reminding him? He hadn't mentioned it for like 6 sessions.
It's not a joke. There are things being planned. Okay, don't you worry. There are things in
I'm
work.
gonna just put this on the table. If you have secured Maisie Peters for a guest spot, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm gonna be very, very excited. I do know for a fact, though, that you don't have the power, ability, inclination to do that.
Have I tried, though, perhaps?
He has the drive. He definitely has the drive.
I believe that you would send maybe a private tweet. Or are they private X's now? What are we calling them? Do
I'm
they
not
have a new
Xing
name?
anyone. That's not
Private X's
not
really
doing
doesn't
that.
work.
The thing is, though, when you take a copy of somebody's URL to put on YouTube and stuff, it still comes up with Twitter. So
Does it?
they've not fully changed it.
Good
Who
work,
would have
Elon.
thought that Elon Musk wouldn't implement something correctly? That's bizarre to me. I don't know if I can
So
quite
unlike
pulse
him.
that. It's just unlike him in general. Holy shit. So, look, Jacob, if you've got things in the background that you want to share, please do share them.
Oh, I'm not going to share them until the moment they happen, just so you know.
Ominous. I guess the only other thing I have to excitedly announce is going to be news to Josh. Everyone else already knows this, so sorry, Josh, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Not next Monday, but the Monday after is Halloween. And we're doing a horror campaign. So I've got a one-shot already planned and ready to go. It was a suggestion from the lovely community. I have fleshed it out and finished it. I have made a custom map and everything for it. I have made some changes to the character sheets that the players cannot see yet that I will implement when I am ready to do so. And we're going to get dressed up. And doesn't have to be in character, it can be whatever you want. I figure let's just get into a costume of some sort, something fun, and do a proper Halloween one-shot. Because we haven't done them before. It'll be really fun. That's a really scary face, Haz. What are you thinking?
Oh, he said, I dress up as whatever I want. That's far too much freedom.
It was sexy kid.
I might need to Can I quickly edit that myself and say you can get dressed up as
It's already been
anything?
said.
I can shit. Okay, well,
That Buck's costume comes to mind.
Exactly, Thomas.
Nipple tassels do not count as a costume.
Oh, so much worse.
But they do count as a covering.
Not for paintball, my friend. Not for paintball.
holy shit. Jacob is going to get green screened out painting himself. That's a good chat. That's a really funny suggestion. I love
Are
the
you trying to
idea.
get rid of me, or is
I
that
love-
on my side? I'm confused.
The
I
full
think-
green morph suit is
I
great.
think it's a suggestion if you were to get dressed up as Tithla, if you were to cosplay as Tithla.
Oh, I could be Tithla.
Yeah.
Tithla.
Maybe we should cosplay as our characters.
Should we all
I don't
cosplay as
mind.
someone else's character?
I want Raph to do Tithla.
Good dog. I have a duster hat though. I don't have anyone else's gear.
Well, look,
It's
we'll
on
let you know
Jonah,
what we come up
he's
with.
a
This
bloody
is
angel.
This is extremely whip at the moment. This is a
wait.
work in progress. We will.
No, I want to flesh it out right now. Live.
No, we will. We will figure this out, and we'll let you know closer to date what we're doing. But for October the 30th, we will do something special for Halloween. I know it's not the actual night of Halloween, but because of time zones and whatever, it actually will be published on the day of Halloween. So I figure that way we're still covered. And I can't be bothered redoing a Halloween episode for Avatar Legends. They're so close to the end of the campaign at this point. I don't want to interrupt the flow with yet another filler episode. So I think we'll just let that one lie. That's the only fun announcements I have to share. Let me do a recap of the story so far, and we will jump straight back into the action. Our series has been following the adventures of the Tempest Adventuring Guild, specifically a new team consisting of Theo, Luther, Jonor, Grinner, and Tithla. Having become trapped within the realm of Barovia while searching for some missing adventurers, the team have been travelling west in search of a way to escape these lands. Their journey has not been made alone though. In the town of Vallaki, The team met up with Killian, an adventurer from a distant land who has now joined with the party. The team are on their way to the town of Krezk, having spent the first night resting at a Vistani camp. During the evening, the team were invited to receive a reading from Madame Ava, a Vistani seer travelling with the troop. Madame Ava revealed herself as a powerful divination mage, demonstrating foresight and knowledge of the past, present, and future of the various party members. The team learned they are currently pawns in an elaborate game being played by two powerful entities, one being Strahd von Zarovich, and the other currently unknown to them. With Madame Ava's rather unsettling words still lingering in the party's minds, they continue their journey at first light. Deciding to deviate via the nearby lakeside, the group stumbled across an old wizard's tower, standing on a small island off the shore. Moving closer, the team discovered a wagon parked out the front, but no sign of any people nearby. After solving a magic puzzle to open the tower door, the party began to search the interior for clues. It became apparent that the tower had been used as a base of operations for someone until fairly recently, and evidence pointed to the previous occupant being Rictavio, a half-elf traveller the party had interacted with previously. After making their way outside the tower, the team were ambushed by Esmeralda, who revealed herself as an apprentice to Rictavio, currently seeking his location. While the rest of the group questioned her, and a severed head they had found in the tower, Grinna and Tithla went for a swim, and found the dark waters of the lake a little spookier than expected. After learning the tower had a basement level they hadn't yet explored, the party delved deep and ventured down once more. In the dungeon below the tower, the team came across a beautiful woman who begged for the party to release her. The anti-magic field around the upper floors of the tower must have been leaking down because she was unsuccessful in charming any of the party, and every attempt she made to use her magic failed epically. Her nature now revealed as a succubus, the woman attempted to flee, but the combined attacks of the party were too much, and she was destroyed by the onslaught. We left off last session as the final blast of magic... Actually, no, sorry, it was the gunshot, wasn't it? It was the final shot from Luther that ended her. The final bullet that struck through in the center of her forehead caused her body to disapparate, slowly turning into dust as she was destroyed. We jump back in, right at the very end of that combat. As you all sort of stand, having just made it to the first floor of the tower, most of you now outside and looking around, you can see Esmeralda sort of coming up the elevator, Killian right behind her, so the both of you, I think, were the last two to have just gotten to the top of that tower, that first floor. As she steps out, she quickly rushes over to the wagon, and you watch as she peers in very carefully through the window above the door, reaches down into her pockets and pulls out what almost looks like a long, elongated key is the best way to describe it. A long, thin strip of metal, roughly 20 centimeters long, with two prongs at the very end pointing downwards. There's a slight curve in the very center, and you watch as she moves it underneath the floor, underneath the door, between the door and the floor, begins moving it around until she hears a soft click, and then opens the door of the wagon before heading inside, leaving the door partially ajar. On the floor, you can see a very small metal mechanism that has been screwed into the floor of the wagon, a rope leading from it around and up, and above the doorway, a vial of bright orange liquid hangs in a glass vial just above head height as you enter in the door. I believe when you had a bit of a peek into the wagon previously, you had spotted these very obvious traps hidden in plain sight just behind the door of the wagon. I hand over to all of you. You hear the sounds of clatter and objects being moved about and thrown about from inside the wagon as Esmeralda begins searching for something inside the wagon. You can hear occasionally muttering under her breath, the open windows carrying her voice just outside. No, it's not here. Oh, damn it. Perfect. I pass over to all of you.
Could I please just suss out the dusty succubus?
The Dustubus, I guess?
Dustubus.
Or the Succudust.
Oh, I don't like that.
That does sound like a
vacuum
great
cleaner.
Yeah, it sounds like a great name for a vacuum cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
As you have a bit of a look through the ashen remains of what was once a devilish figure, could you please roll me an investigation check?
ooh, I can do that. I don't know if for some reason I wasn't expecting that I'd need to roll anything, and I didn't have the page up. Hang on.
I mean, I don't want to.
Right?
I don't want to suggest that we're playing an RPG powered entirely by the rolling of dice, but
I do that every week where we get into playing. Owen finishes his description of what's happened. I go, I should open up my character sheet.
Professional stream right here.
It didn't come across for some reason, but it was a 2. Bear with me while I work out why it didn't come
2.
across.
That's okay. Sometimes you have to open up the features and traits page on D&D Beyond for Beyond 20 to be able to pass the information and then bring it across into Roll20. I find anytime you update the character sheet, you have to do that. It's really annoying.
It also helps if I actually open Roll20, it turns out.
That's the second... that comes in handy too, I must say.
Professionals here.
What did you open?
I was looking up a recipe for green face paint. As Grinner begins, I'd say probably at this rate, Grinner, with a 2, you're kind of like just kicking through the remains with a steel-toed boot. As you begin sort of like kicking up the little dust, piles of dust and ash, the degradation of the body rapidly continues, almost like exposure to the air speeds up the remaining process, almost like a catalyst powering this reaction. And as you kick through, there's not really many things that you find through the dust. However, what is your passive perception?
It is 11.
Okay.
No. Wait, yes. 11.
Okay. As you begin kicking through the dusty body, there's actually no way you can miss this and it wouldn't be destroyed by the dust. So even though your investigation is a 2, you hear the sound of something clink against your steel-toed boot, a metallic clink. And as you bend down and begin wiping away the dust, unfortunately it looks like everything else that she was carrying was destroyed, consumed by the fire that consumed her. Except for this black metallic disc. It looks almost like a dark banded iron, fragments of red vein almost running through the metal itself. And on the front face of the coin, you can see a screaming face, almost embossed into the metal itself.
Can I roll for the fuck is that? I've fought a lot of things.
I think you might already know what this is. It's going to be a very
Have we already got another one?
I think you've already found a soul coin
that's
before.
it.
No one else knows that I have it though. So.
Oh, you're the only one who knows.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay,
Shit.
fair enough.
Yes.
That's fair.
Grinner, in that case, I will get a... I guess this could be an Arcana or History check. Your choice.
I think history, given Grinner's fought a lot of different things over the years, it wouldn't be a surprise for him to have come across something like this. Oh, yeah.
4. Grinner, this is some sort of like knockoff currency. Like whoever's using this has a sick sense of humor. This isn't real money. This is just some weird looking iron with a weird looking face on it. This is probably worth next to nothing. Unless, of course, you could pass it off as currency to some shopkeeper. That's your subconscious.
Can I try and bite it? See if it dents? Yeah.
100%. As you bite into the coin, I think I will get a wisdom saving throw just for fun. Nothing to worry about, I'm sure. just because, like, does make sense. 15. As you go to bite into this, there's this sudden feeling of weight to the coin. And as you go to bite down, you pause for a second. A soundless scream echoed in your mind for just a moment. And as you look down at the coin in your hand, the face seems to have imperceptibly changed. The mouth just that little bit more open, the eyes that little bit more wide. This look of terror, agony on the face etched into the coin. As you slowly flip it over, you see a symbol drawn in a script you do not speak. Anyone who speaks Infernal, however, would recognize this, essentially as the Infernal symbol for a soul coin.
So I definitely wasn't hiding any of that, but I also wasn't making a big show of it. So I'll leave that to the rest of you, but I'm definitely going to just put it away into a bit more of an inconspicuous pocket than, like, it's not going in the coin pouch, is what I mean.
Fair enough.
Stick it.
Just tuck it away somewhere safe. as you tuck the coin away, as soon as your fingers are no longer touching it, you feel warm again. You hadn't even noticed this sensation of cold emanating from the coin through your fingers until the absence of it suddenly hits you. Something about that coin's very odd, Grinner. Something's a bit weird about it, something a bit off. While Grinner's doing that, what are the rest of you people doing?
Pretty sure I'm in bear form, or Bjornling form, so
You are, yeah, you are in Bjornling form. Skyrimbear.wave.
I'll slowly develop my Scooby-Doo language skills and avoid having to take that telepathic feat.
Oh god. Yes, okay, look.
Practice my bear vocalizations.
Look, I don't want to say it's a bare necessity that you should have,
Yeah.
Come on now, that's just unbearable.
Thank you. Let's see how many we can go. 3 for 3. Come on, guys. There's got to be one more bear pun.
The jokes are paw.
Oh, it's a stretch. It's a stretch. We'll let him have it. It's a stretch.
That's the bare minimum right there.
He clawed it back. All right.
Yeah, I just feel like clawing my eyes out.
There we go.
Come on, guys.
All right. Thank God I got my claw joke out first, so now it looks like I was copied. What are the rest of you doing? What are you doing?
What do you mean?
What are you doing?
Well, Tithla's continuing to just try and dry herself off because she's a little bit wet and cold from being in the water.
Yes, absolutely.
It's cold. It's cold. It's drying. It's drier. Okay, we're getting there.
As
So
you
do you
sort of-
think there could be
There you go.
a few more goodies in this basement? I think we should have a bit of a look and see what's hidden down there.
The last time we went down there, it wasn't fun. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that lady's dead.
Oh. Should we say some words for her? You're right. We should have some sort of a ceremony.
I mean, what did you? She's gonna hell you, take you into the sky and throw you into the water again. So, we can probably pass on that one.
Tithla, I think she might be coming back one day. So
Oh, okay then.
I wouldn't worry about the ceremony, but Killian, I saw you were going to do some cool shit. I thought it was going to happen, but you only just walked out the door now. What happened?
Oh, sorry, nearly completely wrong character.
I mean, look, I'll be honest. You look like you were posed for some epic moment, but you just sort of fell flat on your face.
Did I not do the awesome teleporting through blood and throw amazing blood-shaped weapons at the? I must admit my head does hurt now, and I can't remember what happened in the past 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah,
I did wake up.
A lot of blood coming from the top of your head, mate. So I don't know was that supposed to happen.
I do not know. I'll just wave my hand and pull the blood from my head and put it into my jar.
Perfect.
Nice.
Brilliant. A few moments. Oh, sorry, no, you go.
I was going to say to the party, well, the whole reason we came here was to check for the treasure. Shall we make our way down now? She's not there anymore.
Yep. You're onto something, Luther. Let's get going. And I just walk past everyone.
Perfect.
Cool. I casually stroll down the side of the tower to join everyone.
Yeah, brilliant. As you begin making your way back down into the cellar that you had explored before, the dungeon of the tower, there's no need to roll. You've got enough time to search through it. With all of you searching together, I don't think there's any real point having you all roll for this. As you begin examining the room itself and pulling apart the chests, the different areas that are down here, the desk that is in position, as well as, I'd say probably Grinner, given that you've dealt with looting battlefields and things like that before. Tearing apart camps is something you've had to do, looking for gold, and soldiers sometimes stuff gold into like the lining of beddings and things like that. So you pull apart the mattress the woman had and begin like checking inside the stuffing, like for any sort of gold and things like that. Disappointingly, the cellar is strangely Bear, as you begin looking through the cellar itself, there isn't a huge amount to find, unfortunately. What I will get you to do, though, could I please have Killian roll a d10, and let's say Theo roll a d10 as well, please.
I rolled a 6.
6. And Theo a 4. Fantastic.
Hot 4.
That's good. No, that's really good. As you begin looking through and having a bit of a peek through, going through all the chests and things like that, as I said, there's not a huge amount to find. What you do find, though, is a bottle of a strange greenish oil. You can tell it's an oil by the way that it kind of coats the inside of the bottle as you turn it and move it about. The oil appears to be faintly shimmering, almost like a metallic kind of glisten to it. And as you begin sort of shaking it and looking at it, it leaves almost like this residue around the vial, the inside of the vial glass, which slowly seeps back down and joins the rest of the liquid. There is also a necklace. The necklace itself looks fairly plain, although as you have a bit of a closer look, the links do appear to be made of silver, set on a very small metal inlet, again, which looks to be silver as well, is a pearl that has been almost like a little cage of silver constructed around to hold this pearl in place as you find this silver pearl necklace. As you all have a bit of a look, I mean, those of you who are used to appraising items and things like that, it could fetch quite a bit of money. You think this is probably worth anywhere between 150 to 200 gold to the right buyer. Could be worth quite a bit of money. It's very beautifully made. The silver as well. One of the things you've noticed in Barovia, not a lot of silver jewelry, not a lot of silver items. Silver is quite a rare resource in the lands of Barovia. So I'd even be able to get a little bit more.
I mean, talking out of game, I'm sure Strahd has sent out his spies and other things to eliminate all of that jewelry. I take it.
I mean,
out of game, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like there's a lot of creatures of the night which fear the touch of silver. Barovia is a land of eternal night. Seems like those things go pretty hand in hand, and silver might not be a common commodity, shall we say.
These items look rather expensive, although we are inside a tower that does not allow magic. Maybe if we take them outside, we can determine if they have any magical properties.
So one thing I should clarify from last time that there were some questions about. The basement of the tower isn't locked in by the anti-magic field. It only extends from the floors up. The reason the Misty Step failed is because you were Misty Stepping into the area that had the anti-magic, which is why the succubus was able to do the ethereal step on that bottom floor, but then had to come out of it as soon as her head crossed, halfway up the elevator, she suddenly appeared again. That was because her head entered the realm, entered that zone of anti-magic, and she immediately got pulled out of ethereals. I didn't do a great job explaining that last session. Hopefully that is a better job explaining it now, because there were some people confused by that. 100%, I get that. I listened back and I was like, yeah, I could have been more explicit with that. But yeah,
saying that, I say all of that, but I have a bit of a head injury. I could just try casting a bit of magic now, just to see if these things are magical, and I'll cast Detect Magic, because I can.
No, I think you're right. We should probably take it outside of this anti-magic field.
As you cast Detect Magic, Killian, there doesn't appear to be a strong sense of magic coming from the oil. There's almost like a faint sense of magic from it. If anything, it'd probably be the school of evocation, I guess would be the best way to describe it, but it's not like it's a magical item per se. It looks almost like, as you examine this oil, that the oil itself might have very mild magical properties. You could probably consider this similar to something like oil of etherealness, dust of deliciousness, those items that have like a very low level magical effect. That actually, dust of deliciousness would outright just be a magical item with Detect Magic. This is a bit more similar. It's like an oil of etherealness, maybe like an oil of shillelagh, those oils that provide like a low-level magic effect, normally a cantrip or a low-level magical effect that aren't necessarily enchanted with a school of magic per se. The necklace, however, as you focus and look at this pearl necklace, Absolutely. This necklace blazes with light. There's
Ooh.
definitely something magical about this necklace. It's hard to nail it
Nice.
down to a single school, but 100%, there does appear to be some enchantment on this necklace.
Jonor, I know you are very adept with magic. I would have to study this evening in order to be able to identify this item. Are you able to do it at the minute, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I could do that. Just give me the pearl necklace, and I'll be able to do something for you.
This bottle of oil as well. It would be if it has small magical properties, but knowing exactly what it does would, I think, benefit us. We can give it to the correct person then, and I'll hand both over to Jonor.
Fascinating little bottle here. Do we want to just learn about the magic, or for me to sort of identify and figure out what exactly this thing is? Because having silver here is kind of weird, so knowing if this does a certain ability could be very helpful for us.
I'd say yes to both. You'll notice that when I hand it to you, Killian is specifically trying to avoid the silver part of the necklace, mainly because he doesn't know if the demon blood that he has will burn him. So he's unsure. So I'll hand it over.
That's okay. It won't burn you. Look, I'm holding it. It's not a worry at all. I don't ritual cast identify. I just cast it on the spot. Well, 1 minute rather than 11. So I imagine he would, to identify this, he's going to place it on the ground in front of him, and he's going to start casting light around it, and sort of like builds up light that sort of washes up over it, and after time it starts to take more shape, that light that forms in front of him, and he sort of reads out what the information is.
Brilliant. I'm also going to let you do identify on the oil too, if you like, because you've got the time. There's no
Thank
need
you.
to. No problems at all. The oil appears to be an enchanted blade oil. If this was applied to a weapon, it would allow the person wielding it to use the cantrip Green Flame Blade 3 times before the oil is all expended. So it is an oil of Green Flame Blade. The pearl. Jonor, you've heard about enchanted pearls that can allow a spellcaster to replenish spell slots when they have been used up. This is indeed a pearl of power. Once you have cast a spell, you may call upon the power of the pearl using an action and regain 1 expended spell slot. If it's a spell slot of 4th or higher, you gain a 3rd level spell slot. So you can gain a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd level spell slot with this only. If your spell slot's higher than 4, it just is a 3rd automatically. But
For sure.
That is indeed a pearl of power. The silver that it's inlaid in does appear to channel some of this energy from the pearl, but if you were to remove the pearl from the silver links, the pearl would retain the power. It's just set in this. The necklace itself is just a housing for the pearl.
Oh, absolutely. Is it a once-off?
Yeah.
No. You know
No, it's not.
This pearl can be used, you're pretty sure, once per day.
Yeah, it's great.
Very nice.
You're welcome.
Seems I gave it to the right person.
Well, guys,
That's real pretty. That's real pretty.
I do just share the information as Owen described, rather than going over it again.
Who's Owen? I'm your subconscious right now. The pearl of power, Jonor, you want this pearl. It's your only... Yeah, precious. No, but yeah, the pearl does look cool.
That's cool.
I mean, if we want some extra flamey stabby, then Grenad's probably not for you if you can't line your fists. If you get knuckle duster, maybe you can.
I will quickly add, Jonor, you know it cannot be applied to a body part.
Yeah.
That will result in the body part burning.
Knuckle dusters.
I'll be honest, it sounds like Killian could do with the oil, and Jonor, the pearl, seems very suited to you. That's my 2 cents.
Definitely enjoying this white pearl.
So what would happen, Killian, if you stuck all the oil in your little blood jar there? Could you mix that shit together?
I don't think so. It is meant for a it is meant for a blade. If I was to mix it in with my blood, I would probably cause it to change color. I don't know. I don't really use blood as weapon.
Have you ever cooked and then you know how you have some oil?
Yeah.
And then you, like, if you have some water in there as well, they don't sit next to they sit next to each other. They don't go together.
Yeah, but blood's different, right?
It's actually, you'd be surprised. I know, you should know this. You've had a lot of blood over you in the days.
Yeah, but not
Blood is
usually at the
mostly
same time
water.
as oil, though, right?
Exactly. You've never seen them in the same place at the same time. It doesn't work.
You know what, Tifler? That might be the smartest thing you've ever said.
Might be. I've said lots, not much smart.
Yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Tifler on the back with the phrase above the head. I've said much, not that smart. And then the Lost Archives logo on the front. Yeah, I can make that. Tell me if there's a market for that. Tell me if there's a market, I'll do it.
I would buy that.
Okay, done. Should I do a quote for each of you? Actually, maybe I should do that as your quote for the wiki, Jacob. Because each
there you
person...
go. There you go. It's a good one.
You got that, and then you got Grinner. What was it? Your mum for starters.
I was thinking, I can think of another quote for Grinner that could be quite good for the wiki.
We're not allowed to use that one, Owen. You shut that down.
I was thinking more about when you went, there's not much I wouldn't do. I thought that was a pretty good one for Grinner. But yeah, if you wanna make it weird. As Jonor finishes examining the items and as you make your way back to the first floor of the tower, waiting for you at the top of the tower is back at the first floor of the tower, the ground floor, is Esmeralda. Her hair has actually now been tied back into what almost looks like a large bushy bun at the back of her head. She's sort of bound it back out of her eyes. She has a bandana over the top of her head that then ties into the bun at the back, and you can see that she has strapped to her waist 3 more throwing knives on a little harness that just sits above her left calf. Right, so where are you going next? What's next for you lot? Did you find anything down there useful? Yeah, you're still a Beorn or a Bjelk.
Getting better.
So for those of you who are joining us for the first time or may not remember, Beorn is a cross between a bear and an elk. Imagine the front half of a bear with the back half of an elk, and then the antlers of a deer elk sort of rising from the bear's head. Artwork is up on the wiki. I think it is. Maybe it's... Artwork will be up on the wiki. Jonor, how long would it take to learn how to cast the directional light cantrip as described in the Curse spellbook? Jonor, that's something you can do in downtime if you've got time during a long rest, or I'd even say, I think from memory learning spells, there's if you add spells to your spellbook as a wizard, I think there's a breakdown of how long it takes.
It's an hour a level,
yeah.
And this is a cantrip, so half maybe. But I'm also never in this anti-magic field, so I was contemplating putting the brakes on the group for half an hour if they would listen.
Yeah, I'm just having
Their
you're right.
characters,
Doesn't specifically say about learning cantrips, but I know you definitely can learn cantrips as a wizard, because no, the short answer is no, you can't learn cantrips. But this isn't like a cantrip that you're learning, it's more like modifying and adjusting your light cantrip. I'm going to say that it would take you an hour, because it's not giving you a brand new cantrip, it's just allowing you to sculpt and better shape your current cantrip of light. So an hour it would take you. No material components required. Just the hour.
Great. We'll see if that plays out.
Brilliant. Yeah, as Esmeralda sort of confronts you, she rests a hand on some of the throwing knives, sort of locks them into place. Well, did you find anything down there? Anything useful?
A few bits and pieces. But nothing that points in any direction for where Olbate's gone, at any rate.
That is true. Shite. Alright, well then, thanks for your help with that succubus and for being honest with me. I guess I'll make my way to Vallaki. If I bump into him, we'll have a chat. I've got the signal whistle now. Thank you for that, by the way. Give it a blow once I'm near the village, and hopefully he comes to see if he can meet up with you lot. Great, well, nice to meet you all. I guess I'll see you when I see you. Not that I care. Where are you headed next? Are you going to be okay?
Hey, you miss us.
She likes us.
She likes us. We're your friends. You don't have any other friends. Wait, no, that's mean.
I don't have friends.
Oh.
Friends are a weakness. Friends get you killed or get themselves
Me
killed.
either. Wink.
she gives you a side eye. Tithla sighs and goes like, "How about casual acquaintances?
Haha, that's friends.
Not that I care about your well-being, but where are you headed next?"
Well,
Is
We
it
only discussed
Kresk?
that with friends.
Well, you mentioned it before, so clearly your definition of friends is a loose one.
Yeah, we call it casual acquaintances.
Yeah, it feels like it's not a tight criteria to meet that box.
So we're headed to Kresk.
Yes, you did. I think you did
Tifa,
mention that before
please.
briefly.
You're welcome.
Let off the poor woman.
Poor woman.
She doesn't have a paw. That was a bear we were talking about.
I just like, yeah,
Roll your eyes.
eye roll.
Yeah.
Classic Tifla.
As I said before, if you're heading to Kresk, just look out. The abbot's a weird one, and yeah, good luck. I hope you don't
Is
die.
there anyone else in that town that we need to be careful of, or anyone that we can trust that you know of?
The town itself, I mean, I've been in there once or twice looking for Victarvio. I don't know if I could give advice on who to trust there or not. Not the best. I didn't spend enough time to get to know any of them. The tavern that's there seemed fine, and every time I've passed by the Wizards of Wine, the patrons there, the Martovok, they seem nice enough. I'm sure they've got their secrets, everybody does, but I don't think their secrets hurt anybody. The Martovich, whatever they're called, the fucking people who run the winery, they seem fine. Not wizards, though. Very misleading name.
You worked at the Abbey, didn't you?
I didn't work there per se, but I've been through once or twice, yeah.
I sort of put my hand on Tifla's shoulder.
Ow.
I do it gently.
I know. I was playing into the. I knew what you were doing. I was. It's called role playing. Maybe you've heard of
What?
it.
No way. Are we doing that right now?
Playing characters.
No way. What? Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I look at Esmeralda and I go, "So, do you think they have the capability to heal our friend here?"
Oh, 100%. I've seen the abbot fix wounds and injuries far more serious than the nature of those burns. 100%.
What?
Definitely.
What would he ask of us? What are we expecting for his service in healing our friend here? What should we prepare for? What would he want in return?
I'm not
Do you know?
sure. No, I'm not sure. Sorry, I've never needed his services myself. One of the things that I learned was how to take care of myself so that I don't get hurt badly enough to need another person to heal me, or how to heal any injuries that I take myself. Yeah, react to that, Jacob. That was a dig.
Do you know how to heal this then?
No, I would never let myself get hurt badly enough like that.
I didn't
yeah, but
let it
obviously-
happen. They overpowered me.
Clearly,
It was an animated oven.
It was very big.
I'm sure you had an epic battle with some cookware.
Not really. I just sort of fell over and it hurt me.
Well, there was also some hags.
Yeah, I do my best to avoid them, unless I'm well prepared.
Or looking in a mirror.
I'm not sure what the cost will be. I mean, I've seen people bring monetary goods, items of value, gold, silver, coppers. I saw one family trade in what looked like the family silver. Candelabras, all sorts of items that they'd taken from their house that were of value. And I mean, I didn't see him heal that person, but it didn't look like he was going to refuse. I have... And you watch her pause for a moment, as if weighing her next words very carefully. I have heard a story that he can sometimes ask for more esoteric things.
What the fuck's that mean?
Well-
it doesn't matter. If we don't know, then he can't ask for it.
Yeah. Sure.
No, what is it? I want to know.
Well, I did once...
Well, esoteric means, I'm pretty sure that the definition is something extreme, unusual, or atypical interest.
Oh, no.
That's what it means exactly.
Oh, no, I'm unusual. Jonah's going to trade me.
Trading you to get your burns healed is not very
He tried
productive.
to buy me, now he's going to trade me.
least if it is sealed.
You'll notice that none of the NPCs seem to be touching that with a 10-foot pole. Bizarre. I did overhear one person saying that to get their that it had been a very difficult pregnancy. There had been lots of problems, and the abbot had asked for in exchange for helping the baby come out okay and to be healthy and the mother okay, had asked for I think it was the blood of the new moon. Weird, right? Little bit weird. But I couldn't validate this story. It was a person who'd overheard a person who was whispering it to another person that I overheard. And I could never validate this story. I did look into it a little bit, because that sounds like some sort of demon shit. But I couldn't confirm that had actually happened, and I didn't get the sense that... I don't know, it just seems like peasant superstition. You know what I mean? Like tall tales to entertain bored minds.
When you say that...
roll for is that sinister?
Can you roll for is that sinister? I'm going to say that it doesn't really need a roll. Someone asking for the blood of the new moon in exchange for helping a mother deliver a healthy child. Yeah, that's a bit sinister. It's a bit, if that's true, that's a wee bit sinister.
Like, more so, what would someone be able to do with that?
I tell you what, I'll get you to roll me an Arcana check. This is an extremely hard DC.
Esmeralda might have an explanation. Oh, she probably actually doesn't, actually, by the sense of it. She sounds just as confused as we do, actually.
Yeah, she...
disregard.
Rinna, 10. Well, the moon's up really high. How'd you even get to blood? Would it be like blue blood because it's royal? There's 2 moons on Nostea. Is there only 1 moon here? You don't know, man. You just you look up at the sky. You've occasionally seen the moon shine through the clouds. Something that's only just come to your attention now, Grinner. The lunar cycle in Barovia seems very odd. You've been here long enough now, and your subconscious has kind of been working away at this, your passive perception picking this up, and finally your conscious mind thinks about the moon, and your subconscious taps you on the shoulder and goes, "Mate, I've been working on something," and then presents this to you. The full moon stays full for a couple of days, and then those interim cycles where the moon is waxing and waning seems far quicker than it does on Nostea. The other problem with Nostea, obviously, there's 2 moons in the sky. So the 2 moons, obviously, the way they're aligned, they're not exactly opposite. It's almost like a 1-week lag between the 2 moons. So on Nostea, you almost have a full week of full moons as a result of these 2 moons. As 1 moon just comes out of the full cycle, the next moon starts its full lunar cycle. So it's a little bit different. But yeah, there's something off about how quickly the lunar cycle moves through both full moon and no moon. Stays at both of those for a while, and then the waxing and waning, the transitional states, seem far quicker, as if it progresses through skipping some of the states of the moon, some of the waxing and waning states.
With the full moon, I know we're off on a tangent here, but with the full moon, what sort of light is there from that? Is it like, full moon is usually quite bright, you can see almost like daylight sometimes. Is it similar?
So it's the brightest you get in Barovia. It's as bright as the daylight in Barovia. And now that you guys have been here for some time, your eyesight has adapted to the low light conditions. There's been plenty long enough for pupil adaptation to have occurred. Barovia is much darker than Nostea. For the first 2 days when you guys arrived here, it was very hard to get used to how dim the sunlight was. But as you've stayed here long enough, your eyes have started to adapt. Yeah, I mean, a full moon is almost as bright as daylight is, which is not saying much though. Barovia is a very dark, overcast land, and the big problem is, right, that clouds almost perpetually cover the sun, and as the new moon comes out, as the full moon comes out, even though those clouds are a little bit lessened overnight, there's still this kind of thin, wispy layer, almost like a layer of mist perpetually in the upper atmosphere, scattering and taking away some of that light. Does that answer your question?
It sure does.
Sweet.
Would just going off of what we've learned recently, would blood of the new moon potentially have something to do with werewolves, maybe?
You watch as Esmeralda nods along with you. Killian, pointing, goes, Your brain works like a hunter's. That's the closest I could get to a hypothesis as to what that could possibly mean. As I said, I chased down some leads, but it never really went anywhere, and I've never heard of werewolf blood being referred to as blood of the new moon. I've never heard that phrase before in my life, and I no one else could corroborate that they'd ever heard that phrase either. I've written it down in my notebook. Yeah.
Of the land that I'm from, I've never heard of that phrase before, but then werewolves are not usually born where I'm from. They're normally made, so could it potentially be an infant, one that was born naturally? I do not know if that is even possible.
Killian, I'm going to get you to roll me a history or arcana check. You are very close. Arcana. You are so close.
Oh shit, 11.
No, that's okay, because it's a slightly lower DC, because you're already on the right train of thought. As you start reflecting on werewolves from the Forgotten Realms, from Faerun, right? Killian's from Faerun. Yeah, for the Forgotten Realms. As you begin reflecting on werewolves, you have sometimes heard of werewolves recently turned being called new blood. Something about that. Seems some synergy there that you're not... Yeah, some synergy there between blood of the new moon and new blood. Just that just pops into your mind. Again, your subconscious taps you on the back and goes, I made this for you, Killian. Presents you with this memory from a time long past.
It could be. It could also be a recently turned werewolf. There are other types of lycanthropes that you can get in my land. I don't know if that is the same here or not, but yes, it could just be that they get the blood of a recently turned person. Anybody here recently turned?
You watch
I don't think so.
As you watch as Grinner shakes his head, Esmeralda nods. Yeah, of course. You're right. How did I miss this? Genuinely looking shocked with herself as she pulls out her notebook and begins flipping through. Yeah, Killian, she seems embarrassed, a little bit distressed, as her cheeks sort of colour, and she looks up at you. A bit of a scowl on her face as she looks at you, Killian, like almost a little bit cross that you thought of this and she didn't. And as she flips through the notebook...
Sometimes it just takes a little bit of an outside perspective in order to bring all of the notes together. Please take the information freely. If it helps you, it helps you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think you're muted, Jacob.
I have an idea as to why Killian might have been able to work it out.
Oh boy.
It was through the power of friendship.
Yeah, there it is.
This is also true. Tifler and I have recently made a connection through our shared appreciation of the pantheons of our world. So
yes, our gods.
I
remember their names.
Tifler, you are on the receiving end of a withering glare as Esmeralda...
Tifler doesn't notice.
Cool.
She's too busy smiling to herself proudly.
In that case, then, you're sure Esmeralda is smiling a beaming smile at you right now, Tifler.
What else would she be doing? I can't imagine anything else.
She must be very, very pleased with you having correctly identified how she could be happier and how she could improve her life.
Esmeralda
as you goblin-splain.
That's information for her. Okay, exactly. I would call it friend-splain.
Friend-splain. For the rest of you watch as Esmeralda turns a withering glare towards Tifler, an expression you've seen on a few people now when presented with prolonged conversations with Tifler.
Prolonged contact.
Me, Jacob, is just starting to think Owen doesn't like Tifler.
What are you talking about?
Owen doesn't like Jacob.
Yeah, you're here so I can talk to you. Why do you think Tifler's had such terrible burns this whole time? It's just there was the oven. I just made that up on the spot that the oven burned you. I
How do
fudged your
do the
dice
oven
from here.
burns in the cosplay for Tithla? Oh no! Does she have singed hair?
You're gonna.
Oh, no.
I think there's only one way that you can get accuracy on this.
You're good to go for the real thing, I think.
Okay, if you can get an animated oven to fight me, I'll do it.
Oh no, I was just gonna come. Like, I live close to you. I'm just gonna burn the shit out of you and then like.
No, holy shit! No, that's too far. Oh my god, that's actual. Oh my god.
I hope it was cosplay.
I don't think there is. I just want to put this out there. I don't think there's a context where you can tell another person, I know where you live, you're close by, I'll just come to your house and burn the shit out of you. It's just...
The hell,
I can end up
is the context.
When this is played in court, I want the full record to show that I disapproved. No, I'm not cutting it. I need the protection of this to show that I told them off. As Esmeralda flicks a withering glare towards Tithla and then looks back towards Killian, shakes her head a little bit and goes, I think I might need to look into this a bit further. You're heading to Kresk, you said. Ask around, please. I will make it worth your while. Let me track down Rictavio and I will come to Kresk immediately after. If you're still there, I'd like to learn more. If you're not, leave a message with... I don't know, leave a message with the... Shit, no, you can't leave it with the abbot. Leave it with the bartender. Leave it with the tavern owner. You might want to seal it with wax or something.
Having more friends around is always helpful.
She just shakes her head as she stares at you, Killian, and then looks back at you, looks at you, and then you watch as she kind of like mutters under her breath, "Why are you encouraging this?" Well, it's been interesting meeting all of you. I guess I'll see you around, Kresk.
What? Are you just going to walk from here?
No, I'm going to take my wagon. As she points,
but
colourful wagon behind you.
It's kind of the same. It's a long way, isn't it?
She laughs a little bit, gives you a bit of a shake of the head, goes around, closes the door, climbs onto the top of the wagon, and then you watch as she leans down and pulls a lever. As she does so, she mutters a word under her breath, just out of hearing, and you watch as in the center of the wagon, a ghostly spectral form begins to almost fade into existence. Yes, Jacob.
I think Tithla would try in here because friends don't keep secrets.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What's your passive perception?
My passive perception's 15.
Would you like to roll me? Well. Would you like to roll me an active perception?
I would love to because friends don't keep secrets.
Friends don't keep secrets.
12.
As you listen out, all you can hear, Tithla, is the sound of friendship jingling in your ears.
It's actually unicorns.
Yeah. You watch as a spectral horse begins to fade into existence, almost like it is slowly becoming translucent from transparent. And as it does so, the wagon harness rises up around it and settles into place as this ghostly, semi-transparent spirit of a horse is suddenly summoned in between the crossbeams at the front of the wagon. She leans back and goes, I wasn't going to be walking. Gives you a bit of a nod, grinner, and then clicks under her tongue. And as she does so, the horse immediately begins to move. Almost this very still illusion-like form beforehand. And then as soon as it sort of moves into motion, it has this kind of stop-motion effect. The cart moves very smoothly behind it. But every so often you watch as the horse kind of flickers in and out of focus for a second, almost as if it's, like I guess the best way to describe it is like an illusion in the process of being like desummoned. Like that illusory magic begins to fail and flicker away, like an image suddenly torn from a page. As she begins moving back along the land bridge and disappears from view, you are all left alone in the company of only your friends.
I think I'm going to sidle over to Jonor and she's like, can you make, how do we get one of those? Jonor, make one of those. Make that happen.
Give me a carriage and maybe we could start.
You could do, really?
No,
Oh.
I don't think I can. No, sorry to shit on your parade there. Sorry.
Jonah, do
That's
you
not-
want
that's
to
not the
roll me?
phrase.
Do you want to roll me an Arcana check?
Yeah.
I mean, you've decided you can't do it, which is already a great sign. But did you want to roll an Arcana check? It's up to you, mate. 25.
Yeah, there it is.
Jonah, as you say that out loud, I could never do this. There's a sudden moment when you reflect back on all the other things you said you'd never be able to do, but I mean, since coming to Barovia, your magic has grown quite powerful, beyond what you'd thought you could ever accomplish. You don't think this magic is too far beyond you? Seems like some sort of summoning spell or some sort of, maybe an enchantment of some sorts, but you don't think it's that hard. And as you focus on it as well and begin to concentrate, it does seem very similar to a spell that you'd actually read about in a book a long time ago known as a phantom steed. You don't think it'd be that hard for you to do. It's really only a 3rd level spell.
You know, I spent a bit of time and maybe spoke with her. I think perhaps I could figure something out. I did have a look at the cavern. The drawn caravan. The caravan last time, so I could possibly figure it out.
No, look, it's all right. I trust you. If you say you can't do it, I believe you, mate. You don't have to make me feel better about it. I'm just so fucking sick of walking, you know?
Look, I think your handy skills and my magic, we'd better mush those two together and we'd make a automatic rolling contraption.
No, it's fine. I believe you, mate. If you say you can't do it, it's all right. We'll move on. Don't worry about it.
Jonah just shrugs off that one.
Not worth it.
Hey Theo, we saw who was the presumed author of this book inside. If I was to maybe learn one of the cantrips that he had described in there, I think it could be kind of handy to be able to present a skill of his if we were ever to run into this Sergei.
Darf?
I forget you're fucking
I forget that he's a bear.
I keep forgetting
I
you're
say
in
that,
wild shape.
thinking out loud.
Oh
I
my
then
God.
turn and guys, just give me half an hour. I'm going to learn how to direct my light a little bit more.
Just give me half an
And I'll
hour.
go back inside.
How much is left on your wild shape at this point, Has?
They last an hour, I think. So, plenty.
So 15 minutes, let's say, for the ritual spell downstairs where Jonah was casting Identify. Let's say maybe 5 minutes searching. That takes you up to 20. You've easily been chatting for like 20 minutes.
Surely not.
You've got like 20 minutes left. But just...
If Jonah says he's going to be half an hour, yeah, I'll morph back. Like, I don't know. I guess that... Yeah, learning the cantrip seems sensible.
Cool.
Hopefully we don't run
I'm gonna go do this now.
into any Sergei von Zareviches, but
Who is this
he's-
Sergei von Zarevich?
He's the author of this book. I presume I cracked it open and found a little note just hidden in the back spine. I have a feeling he's the one who wrote all these spells. Well, initially before it was kind of corrupted.
I presume
Some sort
he
of
is
a
relative.
relation?
Yes, which can only be terrible, I think.
So, kind of helpful information to have, I think, anyway. So, don't mind me. I walk inside the tower.
I should probably add, Killian, as Jonor holds up this book that he described, you remember that inside the tower, Jonor made a bit of a point of looking at the book while it was under the effects of the anti-magic field. I mean, they've mentioned this book around you a couple of times, and I think you've outright told Killian that you found this cursed tome that tries to bewitch and ensnare the mind of anyone who opens it and reads through it. It contains spells of a dark nature. Inside the tower, when you were examining it, Jonor, the book seemed much more like a typical wizard's notebook. You could see, that there'd been efforts made to learn spells, and it looked much more like a typical wizard's notebook. While the effects of the anti-magic field were applied to it. And that's when you saw the Sergei von Zarevich. So just to make sure everyone's on the same page, because I know that was 3 weeks ago, and we had a week in between discussing this. Actually, that might have been 4 weeks ago, and then there was a week off. So just to make sure you're all caught up. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. I go in there and start studying.
Brilliant. Jacob, I love your cup. For podcast listeners, Jacob has a pumpkin cup. A jack-o'-lantern cup, I should
Well, it's
say.
Halloween month.
Halloween month.
Halloween month.
Also known
Halloween.
as
I've
October.
realised something about myself.
Okay.
I'm a holidays
no.
guy. I like holidays. Yeah, Christmas, great. Easter, great. Now Halloween, great. Why not? Love it. Holiday guy.
Hanukkah?
Hey. What?
Hanukkah?
No, I don't want to.
No, I don't want to.
Because you were saying the names of holidays you liked,
Not
and
touching that one.
I wondered if you also liked like Kwanzaa, like if there were other holidays you liked as well, but I guess not.
Well, I guess I'm uneducated.
Yeah, fair. As you begin making your way back across the land bridge, is there
Something
anything
else that I've
you
learned
would...
recently. Would you
Oh,
like
boy.
to know?
I don't know if I would.
Would you like to know who follows Maisie Peters on Instagram?
Is it you?
Well, yeah, other than me.
Did you make an
Would you
account
like
for
to know whose
TikTok?
company I keep in following Maisie Peters on Instagram?
Not right now. We can save it for the end as a little bonus bit for those who want to suffer through that.
Come on, he's dying.
One
to tell
and
us.
only Hideo Kojima.
I would not have expected that. That's an interesting... Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
The
I don't know who
maker of
either
a
of them
number...
are.
game developer of a number of
Game developer,
games. Metal Gear Solid, Death Stranding... what other games has
Like,
it got? Loads.
An auteur in the game development industry.
Yeah.
And so same level as Maisie Peters in the music industry.
Hang on.
What?
Hang on. I don't know if you can compare those. Hang on. Why am I getting drawn into this? As you make your way back across the land bridge and rejoin up with the rest of the... Or, so I should say go to rejoin with the rest of the group. By the time you arrive back at the main road, the wagon that Nikolai and Stella Wachter were riding along with their guards and possessions is no longer there. You can see deep tracks in the road where it has made a pathway continuing along towards the village of Kresk, but they appear to have waited for you. You took a bit longer and have carried on.
Oh, we forgot to send him the signal.
I'm going to do a quick perception check. I'm pretty sure everything's fine. I just want to check and see if they weren't forced to leave. I know they said they would wait for us and they'll probably leave. So chances are they're probably all good. But
Yeah.
I just want to just quickly make sure nothing else.
I'd say probably, survival or perception would work here.
Okay, I'm going to go perception.
We did tell them we'd send them a signal if we needed more
I
time,
know.
didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
That's
And
true.
I took
I'm
note
pretty
of that
sure
and I was
everything's
tracking
fine,
time.
But I thought this is good just to check real quick, just to make sure.
Yeah, I think we're
15, Luther. As you begin examining the cart tracks and looking over them, there doesn't appear to be deep grooves as if it was cut in a hurry or heavily laden. It looks very similar to the tracks that lead up to this point. There's no signs of broken branches. There's no signs of scuffling footprints. It looks very quiet and the ground mostly undisturbed.
Good. That's good to hear.
No signs of an ambush that you can see.
Cool.
Yet.
Yes.
I didn't say that, but you said I just said there's no signs of an ambush that you can see.
Good. Good to be safe and sorry.
We should probably catch up to them. I know they have many guards, but town's guards kind of don't mean too much in this kind of place.
They're not as good as us. Is that what you were trying to angle at?
I mean, you can throw blood. Jono has wings. I can turn into a bear. We're pretty cool compared to the
Fun.
guy with sword.
I can walk up towers and such.
Yeah, that's an interesting development.
I can hit people very, very hard.
I mean, we can all hit people very, very hard. It's just the way that we choose to.
Oh,
I can't.
I mean, I'll be honest. Look at the way Grinner, burst through that door with
Yes.
Kool-Aid guy.
Aaron. That look. I pat him on the back, give him some reassurance.
I'd have to say, Grinner, that your particular specialty is you are very good at hugging people.
yeah. I make sure I hug them until their eyes start bleeding. It's good shit.
And you
I was going to say he's very loving,
emotional.
but
Yeah.
he sort of ruined it.
Oh,
The eye popping.
With the eye popping.
Your journey by foot along this side road. Obviously, this is not a well-traveled path. This deviation off the major road, which is cobbled, this one being a dirt road. The road is partially overgrown, and you can see areas where the wagon has slightly gone off the edges, has cut into some of the undergrowth. Following the tracks of the Wachter wagon, Nikolai, Stella, and the guards, it is pretty easy, even for those of you who are not skilled trackers. Probably Tithla is Tithla's the most adept tracker of the group, along with Theo. The two of you working together in tandem. Yes, the two of you working together in tandem very easily are able to stay on the pathway. And as you begin following the road around back through into the forests that surround the lake, the underbrush closes in around you, the canopy locking off the sky once again and plunging you into this dim half-light.
Keeping in mind, forest is Tithla's favourite terrain.
Okay.
While we're traveling, can I also, I just want to follow the party, but I'll just stay on the outskirts, like on the edges of the tree line, and I'll sort of be more like stealthing and using my ability to spider climb, keep pace with them, but just stay a bit more out of sight, a bit more up vertically to have more of a look at.
Just up and down trees.
I was just imagining that god-awful scene from the fourth Indiana Jones movie.
Yes. Oh, no. Don't remind me. No, thank you. Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about that. As you begin making your way further down the road, it's only another couple of hours before it joins back onto the main pathway, the road that you had originally been on before you deviated off to go and check out the lakeside and the tower. The road itself is a little bit harder to follow the pathway of this wagon on. As you begin making your way along the road, it's harder to sort of keep a very clear indication of the pathway itself until you eventually make your way to a fork in the road before you're able to sort of like see back where your journey was originally taking you. The road itself splits into a Y intersection at your point, with one road heading south through the forests, the other continuing west. But within view of where you are, you can see the road splits again, one heading down towards the southwest and one towards the northwest. The sign at the area where you are now, the first of the Y intersections, the sign appears to be partially overgrown. The vines around it having risen up and choked part of the signpost itself. But as you step up and begin pulling them away, you can clearly see the sign pointing in a couple of different locations. The sign that's pointing towards the south seems to be indicating deeper Svarlich woods, and then underneath that, the Lunar Lake. There's also I'd probably say Lunar Lake for Mount Gacchus is what it would say on that sign. Underneath it, partially obscured and broken, is a sign that clearly once hung above this, but has rotted away. It's hard to make out, only the first words are there, but you can see TSOL, then the wood has rotted, and then ASS after a large break.
Yeah.
Hang on. Tom, are you really smiling at ass?
I am.
Professional stream. Holy shit.
Professional.
The sign that points towards the west from here, you can see there's one sign in the same style as the rest of it, the arrow pointing towards Kresk. Underneath it, someone has hung a much more colourful painted sign that has clearly been added at a later date, showing a curling branch of vines, grapes hanging from them, and in beautiful gold and silver script, Wizard of Wines, pointing in the same direction. Where would you guys like to go?
In the direction of Kresk.
In the direction of Kresk.
The other two seem not where we want to go.
Perfect.
I thought we were going to the wine first and then to Kresk.
Was there both at Kresk?
Can we go in the direction of the arse?
Well, does the R sign, does that,
Oh god.
in my mind,
regret
reminisce Argenvost Holt? Potentially.
The letters don't quite line up in a way that they should. Do you want to make me a quick history check, Killian? I'd say you've got advantage on this. You've been in Barovia for a number of weeks now. You would have heard of the name of this place. It's just whether Killian can quickly recall it.
Ooh, 19.
19. You've heard tales of a mountain pass known as Solenka Pass. You've only ever heard of it referenced along with great danger.
It could be Solenka Pass, which is a place that is filled with great danger and we do not want to go near. Plus it is to the south, direct south, which I believe is where the Amber Temple is, from what Madame Ava said to us. That is not somewhere we want to go.
I've just thought of one of the descriptions you would have heard, Killian. One of the townsfolk went, Solenka Pass, it's a crack filled with bad shit. Is what you would have
Another
heard.
quote.
Thank you.
As a direct quote from a person in Vallaki,
Can't believe this is getting a second.
somewhere
round.
it is a crack full of shit.
There we go.
Bad shit.
There we go. So good they named it twice. Brilliant. As you begin making your way past this area and continuing on, not worrying too much about the ruined signpost. As you begin moving a little bit further on, you can see that this stretch of the Svarlich road is slightly better cared for. As you reach this area here and the edge of what looks like a bridge crossing, the road splits again. This time, someone has made great effort to essentially erect their own signpost. A large, almost, I'd say like 2-meter banner sign, this large wooden post that has been erected with a large section on front, painted beautifully to show these stretching vineyards, the sun setting behind them. And in front you can see Wizard of Wines, again painted in this gold and silver text. Underneath it, you see a robed figure with a hat, stars on the top, conjuring the words out of air, painted onto this sign, the Wizard of Wines. The road to the north that passes the bridge indicates the town of Kresk.
Well, did you want to get the wine order put in, and then if we can either get it sent back or pick it up on the way back when we head back to Vallaki? Or do you want to do the wines after?
No, I think that makes sense. Why not get that out of the way first if it's going to take them a little time to get it together?
Yeah, there's nothing more pressing we have to do than order booze.
That's right. That's definitely the most important thing that we're on this trail for at the moment.
No, I agree. Ow!
Deep in your subconscious, Theo, you remember your tiny burned goblin companion. Very deep.
I
You
think
quickly
that
squash
was
it.
front of mind. That was definitely front of mind.
I do think the caravan is safe for now. So
Actually, I should add, you were looking
Keep a
at for the
short one, I
caravan
think.
tracks, weren't you, Luther?
I mean, yeah, I would have been paying
You
attention.
were.
To it, yeah.
The caravan tracks seem to deviate toward the vineyard, when they clearly told you their plan was to head straight for Kresk.
I'll say that, I guess. I actually noticed something odd. They never said they were going to the vineyard, did they? Because their tracks are leading there.
Maybe
Can
you
I-
go Kressy?
Can I look around the intersection and see if there's anything that maybe they saw danger down the other path and headed towards the vineyard as a safety route?
Could I also-
2,000,000%.
Could I give the help action then? Because I've been paying particular attention to
Yes.
dangers and other things. up in the
Survival-
trees, so I can give a bird's eye view.
Survival or perception check with advantage, Grinner. I saw your hand up, Jacob.
Again, the forest, which is what we're in,
Hello.
is Tifla's favourite terrain.
It is, yeah. What would you like to know?
For
What would you like
which,
to know,
tracking
Tifla?
creatures, I
Yeah.
think this may be that. You can learn the size, number, blah, 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 and how long ago they passed through the area.
Can you make
Well,
me a
this is good.
survival
We
check
might
with
need
advantage,
that.
Tifla?
We might need that.
Grinner, 8 and 6 for your perception. Oh, there's a cart that went here, did a cart that went there, there's some footsteps.
That's a 9.
You've got
There's
advantage. You've got
maybe a
advantage,
cart.
Tifla. I said before you got advantage. And you're in your favoured terrain. I believe you have advantage as a ranger.
Oh, and my
anyway.
proficiency
okay.
bonus is double.
Sounds right.
Oh, your proficiency and bonus is doubled easily. So what's that then? That's a total of probably
Another
12?
3 for 12.
14.
Oh, proficiency and bonus is doubled. So 14?
Oh, fuck, we're good.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a +5.
Yeah, so 14.
For
If
survival,
it's
so
proficiency and bonus, then yeah, you get +5 again, so 14. Yeah,
I love
Grinner's.
how done Has looks right now too.
The rebel.
You're gonna
No,
die.
I'm just impressed that out of 3 dice rolls, we didn't get
It was
above
trash.
a 7. Like,
That's
It was
crazy.
trash.
Cursed dice. You were not meant to see the danger here. Grinner, 8 and a 6. I just uttered here. Cart went left, we go straight, or we go left. Who fucking gives a shit? That's your 6. Oh no, it was an 8, wasn't it? Advantage. Ah, well, I guess in that case, it's cart went left, footsteps go everywhere. Who gives a shit? Tithla, survival of 14.
Sorry, it would be a 12 because it's just your
It's just proficiency is doubled.
Alright.
Okay, I did wonder. So 12 still okay. 12. As you begin looking at the tracks, Tithla, you notice something a little bit odd. The cart pulled over briefly by the bridge. You can see clearly where the cart has then had to reverse backwards. You can see where the horses have stepped forwards and then retrodden onto their own hoofprints. It looks like the cart was lighter after this brief stop, and there's not as many tracks, there's not as many hoofprints heading towards the southwest. In fact, there are some muddy hoofprints heading towards the north. Yes, Jacob.
It says you learn the exact number, sizes, and how long ago they passed through. So I believe I would be able to see the difference in numbers because
Tithla,
this is
there were
terrain.
2 horses pulling the cart. Now there's one. I was giving you that, but in a way that you had to engage 2 fucking brain cells, mate. Come on. I was giving you this.
Understand.
Do you
Okay,
want
I'm trying.
Do I need to slap you with it? There were 2
could,
horses
that'd be
pulling the
great.
cart originally.
He's in character.
They unhitched one horse. It looks like the carriage continued towards the Wizard of Wines.
Guys, I've worked it out myself. There was 2 horses. One has gone this
Do you want more?
way.
Shall I stop there? Do you want any more?
Get off. Grenade, stop smudging the tracks. You're ruining it.
What fuck? Sorry, mate.
Well, now we don't know how many horses there were.
Yeah,
Well, there was
no,
2
you-
to start with.
Tithla, just take a deep breath and let your consciousness continue.
You see what I have to deal with, guys.
I tried.
At the point where the horses deviated, you can
The
see
horses
hoofprints
deviated.
heading across the bridge. I don't think you need to repeat. I think you can just
Some
say
hoofprints went this way.
Might have
Some
the beauty of
hoofprints went that way.
it's just painful. It looks like a figure walking and a horse headed towards the town of Kresk, while the cart and 4 footprints headed towards the Wizard of Wines.
There's no way to know how many people there were on each side. But what there was at a minimum was 2 people and a horse went that way. I'm assuming somebody was riding the horse. And then there was 4 people walking, presumably another 6 on the cart being pulled by 1 horse, going down to the Wizards of Wines.
Where'd the other horse go?
Well, it went with the person who was riding it and the walking one.
So I just had this image of like every broken game ever, where like you get on the horse and start riding, your character moves forward, and the model of the horse goes backwards in an opposite direction. Just I don't know, just had a momentary lapse there. Oh,
Can
man.
I just?
Yeah, please.
Because we're near
Anything
we're
but
near
what
a,
I'm dealing with right
No,
now.
I got this.
we're near a
Okay.
stone bridge. Yeah.
It's a stone bridge, yeah.
Okay. I want
It's
to
a
just
stone
lean
bridge.
out over it and look under
Can I
it.
jump off the bridge?
I'd prefer if you tossed a goblin, but as you know in Winnie the Pooh how they play poo sticks. Can you play goblin sticks, please? Where you just toss a goblin over a bridge.
No,
We're all
Tithla.
jump off and just leave Tithra as the main character.
Grinner, 100%. As you wander down and peer under the bridge, fist at the ready in case you have to boot the snoot of a troll. As you look under the bridge, the water moves by quite lazily. This part of the river wide and deep enough that the rushing water that you saw further back has slowed down to a much more leisurely pace here. The water is as dark as Lake Bartok, where you were before the lake under the tower, and probably there's a momentary flash of fear, Grinner, as you peer down into these dark depths once again. The bridge underneath seems empty. No signs of any people moving through here. Plenty of signs of animals, but not much else. You can see dragonflies darting over the surface of the water, occasionally dropping down to land briefly on twigs and leaves that hang over the water's edge. The muddy banks occasionally move with little tadpoles that move about. This area of the forest seems very full of life.
So, given that we're fairly close to civilization,
yes,
just as a hunch, Grinner's going to start waiting around near the bridge and see if he can find anything that may have been dropped into the water off the bridge.
Okay, you guys watch as Grinner begins just rolls up his sleeves, rolls up his pants legs, and then just wades out into the river. Grin, I'll get you to give me I guess this would be a investigation. I would also say your survival check. I would allow either. Your choice.
-1 +1. I'm not going to do that. I'm investigating.
I can give you a light to help search under the water if you'd like.
Actually, true. While you've been traveling, Jonah, you've had a chance to work on your light cantrip, and you have definitely, after a few practice goes and playing around with it, you can now very, very, you can choose whether to cast your light cantrip in essentially in a full 360 arc, in a 180 arc, or in a 90-degree arc. You've got control over how much direction you want to apply to it.
So you've got a magically shuttered lantern.
He's essentially turned light into a hooded lantern. A slightly less good hooded lantern, though, because it's only 30 feet and 30 feet. I'm pretty sure the hooded lantern's a bit more than that. Like a bullseye lantern's a little bit more. But yeah, essentially.
So do I get advantage?
Here you go. Here's a stick. Just point it. It's like a directional torch.
Oh, fuck me. All right. Yeah, down here. This way.
As Jonah pulls out a stick and goes, "Numos Maximus" on the stick, and then hands it to Grinner. You do get advantage on this now.
Oh, convenient. Nat 20 for a
natural 20, 19. Jonah, very nice. Grinner, your hunch initially bears no fruit until the light catches the edge of something harsh and angular, half sunken into the river mud. As you reach down and begin prying away, you can see that it is a suitcase, essentially a traveling trunk, only about 50 centimeters long, I'd say 30 centimeters high and about 20 centimeters in depth. It's not overly large, but as you lift it up and pull it, and you watch water and mud streaming out from the sides, you can hear something rattling around inside. The lock has very much rusted away. So
it's been there for a while?
Yeah, probably been there for a long time.
Hey, look! I start running back to the others. I found a fig! Look!
I'm so proud of you.
Look at that one.
Yeah, I just smash it on the ground to open it.
Of course you do. Yeah, of course you do. As you...
I would have been standing right beside him as he did it.
Yeah, I bet. I'm going to get you to roll me a D100 as you smash into the ground, because I've just pulled open what's in this little traveler's chest, and there may be some consequences. 28. You hear the sound of glass shattering as you do this. As you peer inside the trunk, you see a bottle shattered into pieces, liquid draining onto the sides and out onto the mud. The liquid seems to shimmer with this almost like slight orangey yellow glow, and in the very center, a feather that's floating on the surface of the liquid slowly begins to essentially disintegrate and melt into the liquid itself, burning away into nothingness, as whatever this potion was is thoroughly ruined by your smash. Grinner smash!
There was nothing in there, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, there was, but...
Just because I'm an asshole, would you like to know what that potion was?
Yes.
Featherfall potion, by the sense of it, man.
It was a potion of enhance ability. Anyone who drank that would have gotten Eagle's Splendor and had advantage on charisma checks for 1 hour.
Who needs charisma in this party?
It's a good point. The rest...
Every single one of us.
The warlock?
I can think of someone else who might want replenishable spell slots too. Oh, the warlock does get him back on a short rest, I guess. That's probably fair. The rest of the contents of the trunk are mostly ruined by exposure to the mud and water. It looks like this contained a number of items. The potion itself looked like it was wrapped in cloth. The cloth has been ruined by the water and the mud. It's disintegrated as you sort of like begin, I guess, like sifting through the silty, rotten mess that is the inside of this trunk. It doesn't take too long before your hand comes up with a small pouch. And as you peer inside, Grinner, you see that it contains what looks like 2 gemstones. Bright blue, a little bit frosted as you look at 2 aquamarine gemstones inside this pouch.
I'm going to pass those over to Jonah. Are these any good for what the fucking shit you do?
Oh, I'll give these ones a bit of a look. Hey, Killian, these aren't the same gems you had for the teleportation means, didn't you?
Well, no, we found those in a briefcase. They're not the same ones, Jonah. Don't be ridiculous.
Nope, not the same. Okay.
I think the one that I have is red in colour, and I'll pull it out just to sort of compare it, just in case they are the same, just a different colour.
Yeah, you were handed a ruby. That's been cut and carefully looked after. These seem much more raw, almost like they haven't been fully processed and cleaned up yet. As you have a bit of a look at them, to the right buyer, could be worth anywhere between maybe 200 to 220 gold pieces. They do appear to be aquamarine or sapphire. Or
I could check to see if they're magical, just to save you on magical energy, wasting it on identifying it if it is not. My ability to see magic does not cost me anything.
I'm just going to investigate it then, rather than Arcana.
You can give an Arcana check. It doesn't cost you a spell slot to Arcana.
Yeah,
I'll do detect magic in case there's anything in the area anyway.
Yeah. As you do detect magic, there is no magic emanating from these gemstones. Jonah, as you look at them, normally for enchanted gems, they've been cut and polished first. It's very rare for a wizard to go to the trouble of enchanting an uncut gemstone, mainly because it doesn't look as good. Wizards can be quite frivolous fashionistas at the right times. They certainly do like long flowing robes, lots of stars on their hats, and their gemstones to be cut and polished. If you enchant, an uncut gemstone and you did go get it cut in the future, you do risk the chance of essentially dispelling the magic that's on this gemstone. So it'd be very unusual for a wizard or an enchanter to go to the trouble of enchanting an uncut gemstone. Very, very unusual.
Regular old nice gems right here. Nothing too much to speak of.
Oh, all right. Is there anything else in the case that we found?
Sludge and decayed cloth that probably was once clothes. Maybe this is a travelling trunk that someone had, and as they crossed the bridge, it was shaken loose, or they were attacked and it fell into the river. Hard to know the history of this.
So I want to look for one more thing on that case. I want to look for any identifying marks. So whether they've got something embroidered into their sludgy clothing, or whether there's something on the chest itself, something that might give any idea, any indicator as to the owner.
I'm happy to use your natural 20. Oh, sorry, you go, Tom.
Of prestidigitation to help him in that.
Nice. That will help. I'm happy to use your natural 20 from before. I'm now very happy to use your natural 20 from before, as Jonah helps with this prestidigitation to clean up the case. As you look over the case, no embossed symbols on the case itself. As you look through the clothing, no tags, no names embroidered or anything like that. The closest you find to what could be an identifying feature is a very faded and degraded, what looks like maybe a crest of some sorts on the front of the case. As you look at it closely, it's hard to make out too much detail, but with Jonah's help casting prestidigitation and peering a little bit closer, it looks not too dissimilar to the crest of the Vallakovich family.
Can I want to make a rubbing of it. If Jodor, have you got any spare paper floating around?
Jodor, I need to rub one out. Can you get me some?
Yeah. Look, I need some paper and I need some drawing materials. I just got to rub something out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can sketch whatever you need. Just say the word.
Sorry, Chip.
No, it's fine. Just pass it here. This should look. I saw someone, one of the people in my band do this back in the day. Look, watch. It's really cool. I'm gonna try and make a rubbing of the crest onto the paper using.
Yeah, 100%. You can definitely do so. Especially with Jonah having cast prestidigitation to dry off the water and get rid of the mud. You make a little bit of a rubbing of the crest. As you do so, yeah, as I said, part of it's faded and broken away, but it doesn't look too dissimilar from the Vallakovich family crest. The sign of what looks like a crow maybe on the left-hand side, the right-hand side completely eroded, but now that you've rubbed it out, clearly a V as well in the very center of the shield.
I've got a lot more clarity now that I've rubbed it out.
I think we've got the name of our episode. Grinner rubs one out. Do you know what though? I think our click ratio would be very high for that. I do think sex sells, and I'll just get a close up of Grinner. Just go like, oh man. Yeah, definitely does not look too dissimilar from the Vallakovich family crest. But I mean, this looks old. It looks like it's been here for a long time.
Okay, I'm going to fold that piece of paper up and put it away.
Cool. Brilliant. Now, what would you guys like to do? You've kind of got, I guess, 3 roads ahead of you. Vallaki, the Wizard of Wines, or whatever the fuck you want to do.
So the horses, one went that way, and one in the cart went that way.
I think we should go to Zawines.
We should check in on
the
them.
decision to go to Zawines.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I agree.
Brilliant. As you all begin making your way along the southwestern road, traveling down through an area of forest that is much less dense than the area surrounding the river, you can see signs that this maybe was once cleared and I'd say maybe used as farmland a long time ago, but has since been reclaimed by the surrounding forest. The journey takes you another couple of hours. By this point, the afternoon sun is beginning to drop below the treetops above you and the light beginning to fade. The pathway that you follow, eventually the cobblestones run out and you begin moving along dirt roads once again. Interestingly, the cart doesn't seem to have slowed or stopped. If anything, it seems to have continued along this dirt road, which would have been difficult. The roots that tangle around this area it would have made it very hard for a horse and cart to travel along without really jostling and bumping whoever was unfortunate enough to be inside the wagon at the time. It seems very odd. It does stand out as a bit of an oddity to all of you, especially those of you who are tracking this area. Eventually, though, the forest begins to fall away, and you can see in the distance a large vineyard. The hills are covered in rows upon rows of grapevines. The trellises that they have been mounted on are well cared for. The area clearly looked after. In the far distance at the very top of the hill, you can see a large homestead rising above the vineyard below. And clearly this is a very large house that has been constructed, a very large steading that's been constructed on the top of the hill, along with an enormous warehouse next to it. Even from here, massive barrels are visible through the open doors of the warehouse. And you can, in fact, see a figure far in the distance. This is probably about, I'd say maybe 800 feet away. You can see a figure far, far in the distance closing the sheds and beginning to make their way towards the house. What grabs your attention, though, is that the wagon seems to make a deviation off the road here towards the edge of one of the vineyards. And in fact, from where you are on the dirt pathway, you can see the wagon. On one side, one wheel still spinning, the door ripped open, as if it has crashed into part of the trellises that hold these grapevines. In fact, you can see a section where it has run over a large portion of the vines.
Can I roll for why though?
Yeah, sure. You can roll for why.
I think this is probably a flaw of Luther's. I think I would probably throw caution to the wind. And it's just, you said this sounds like a recent thing if the wheel's spinning.
Well, you know that they were only like, maybe as you think back to the timeline, really, if they waited around for an hour, you didn't give the signal, and then they took off, the most that they could be ahead of you is about 2 hours. The most.
I think I'm going to throw caution to the wind. Luther's a very compassionate person and very kind, so he would run immediately. He would just throw caution to the wind, run and check out the cart, and he would look for survivors or anyone hurt.
Luther, as you rush up...
Probably not a great...
Okay.
Theo, you two, rush up with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. As the two of you... Perfect. As the three of you rush forwards...
Grin is the one that did the perception check. This is what he does.
Yeah. As the three of you rush forwards to get a closer look and see what has happened here, Grinner, you hang back a second, having a bit of a look around. With a perception of 20, you don't see any signs of creatures. There's no signs of movement. It seems quiet and empty. And right as you're starting to feel your suspicions might have been a bit intense, maybe a bit presumptive, you notice around this area of the vineyard, beautiful purple-blue flowers sprouting from the earth. Gorgeous, but out of place along the very carefully manicured and cultivated vines. In fact, as you have a bit of a peek around to the vineyards on the other side of you, Grinner, you see no sign of these flowers at all. And as you sort of have a bit of a look around and peer at the cart itself and beyond, it looks like these flowers increase in density, some of them actually growing out of the same earth that has been tilled and set up for the vines. And wherever the flowers are growing and are strongest, looks like sections of the vine have been slightly withered, as if not able to compete with these invasive flowers.
I mean, I feel like Grinner's going to think that's weird, but not as weird as everything else going on. He's probably just going to run along with the others and keep pace and be... I don't think he's going to mention the flowers at this point because there's too much else going on. That just seems like a weird thing.
As all of you rush up to the wagon, you can see that the wagon itself has been tipped over, almost, as I said, as if it had run into part of the vineyard. In fact, you can see vines and ropes from the trellises tangled in the wagon wheels. Inside the wagon is empty. The internal contents have been thrown about and strewn. On top, you can see suitcases. All the effort that the Wachter family had gone to pack all of these crates and suitcases, they've been knocked over and scattered by the fall of this wagon. There's no sign of the horse. There's no sign of any people. There are, however, dark stains of blood around the edge of the wagon, specifically at the front, where the driver would sit. A section of the harness where the horses would have been roped up has been torn off. A large splatter of blood against one of the sections of harness and up onto the crossbeam that would help hold the horse in place. And drag marks leading towards the vineyard. I should preface, this area of the winery is right on the outskirts of the cultivated section, almost as if this hasn't been as well cared for. You can see that a lot of the vines are growing wild, having not just grown to fill the trellises, but now also pushing out away from their plots. They hang heavy with grapes. And Grinner, you notice more and more of these little bright, pretty blue flowers sprouting from the earth. No stems, no leaves, just the flowers sprouting from the dirt itself.
Can I...
Roughly like lilies, I would say, purple and blue.
I'd like to bend down and pick one so that I can take it to Theo and show him.
Yeah. bend down and pluck one of the flowers. As you do so, you feel a sudden prick in your fingers, and as you look, you can see there are thorns underneath the petals of the flower. Carefully readjust. It doesn't deal any damage, it's just a light prick. And as you snap the stem and pull it up, you can see the stem begins to well with this dark red sap that rises to the surface. Sticky red sap. And as you bring the flower over to Theo, Theo, Grinner walks over and presents you with this flower. Not too dissimilar from a lily in appearance. The outer section are much broader leaves of this very dark purple, and as it gets closer to the center, there's layers upon layers, rows and rows of these thinner and thinner leaves that become lighter blue as they do so. And at the very center, there's a single stamen, a single petal in the very center that's pure white.
There's something weird about these. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Am I going crazy? Is there something to this? What the fuck's all these flowers?
Yeah, can I roll for flower ID?
That would be a nature check, definitely. Can I roll for what dat flower? I want to roll for David Attenborough Life of Plants. Yes, the flower of the blood lily is a rare herb. No. 13. Theo, you've never seen a plant like this in your life. As I said, the closest approximation is some sort of lily, but it's growing out of the earth, which is very bizarre. But again, that's probably the closest approximation. Lilies often have these large leaves that grow out onto the surface to capture sunlight, but most of the plant stays below the water. No sign of any leaves, but as you have a bit of a look at the flower itself and the thickness of the stem, again, that sort of bright red, almost reddish amber sap leaking from inside the stem of the flower. Again, very sticky. You suspect that probably most of this plant is underground, same as most of the lily is underwater.
You're right, this is quite strange. I've never seen anything of its like, and it being in a vineyard is somewhat strange.
Well, look, it's killing those vines over there as well.
Would you describe the sap as more wine-coloured or more blood-coloured?
I'd describe it as more sap-coloured.
Um,
do you know what? I'm not going to be an arsehole. It's more of a wine, like a red wine colour, a dark purplish red, rather than that dried crimson.
Yeah, cool. From where we are, you mentioned a guy closing a shed. Just in terms of scale, would we be like within earshot? Like, I imagine a crash of this scale would be somewhat loud, and that guy was just casually milling about his day. Yeah,
absolutely. Probably not. I mean, 800 feet is about 250 meters. I've just quickly done a conversion. That's pretty far, especially with the forest so close behind. Look, they might have heard something. It's also very conceivable that they might not have heard something. And given that this has crashed into an overgrown section of the vineyard, you're not even sure this would be visible from there. The only reason you saw it was because you followed the tracks. This area at the border of the forest with the tree canopy still growing over the edge of the vineyard, it's very possible that the way the sun's setting, which is setting in the west with the light behind, shadows being cast from the forest, it's very possible the person at the vineyard heard and saw nothing. It is also possible they heard and saw everything and just were like, nah, fuck it.
And you mentioned the tracks were dragging off towards the vineyard, not into the forest?
Looks towards, staying to the border of the forest and the vineyard, almost skirting away now from the center of the vineyard, away from the house, away from the road, into the depths of where the overgrown part of the vineyard is.
Are the drag marks very clear? Have we all seen those?
Yeah, I'd say you've all
I think
seen
we
them.
have.
I'm happy. And if any one of you saw them, I'm assuming you're not a dick, and you did point them out to the rest of the party. Not like, oh look, there's a party this way. Look, they've got cake on the floor. Follow the red icing, Tithler. Look, it's all on the ground. Yum.
I'm going to start running along the tracks, the drag marks.
It's salty.
Yeah, I'll follow along for sure. I'll do my spider climb and stealthy stuff there. I'll keep above the group, just keeping a look at you as I have been.
I'd very quickly like to try and dig up one of those flowers under the ground before I run away from them, and then carry on with them.
Perfect. I have just brought you across to a map.
Fun.
And as you sort of rush in, chasing along the edges of the vineyard, I will bring us over to a map area. As you rush forwards, you can see that the vineyard here has been partially overgrown. More and more of these flowers, much larger in size than you had seen previously. In the very center of this overgrown, destroyed section of vineyard, you can see what probably was once a section of very healthy vines that has just withered away into nothing. A large cart, probably once used to help transport maybe fertilizer down towards the vineyard, and maybe barrels of grapes back up towards the homestead. The barrel lies half shattered and rotten not too far from this area. The trellises almost completely destroyed along this section of the vineyard. The drag marks almost fade away to nothingness as they move further towards this ruined section.
I'm just going to keep running towards where they seem to be pointing, even as they disappear.
Brilliant. Grinner, as you rush forwards, the rest of the party, how close behind are the rest of the party? That's a question I need to ask.
Well, I've been up pretty close to Grinner, so I'm around.
Perfect. I'll say you're probably just behind Grinner then. How are the rest of you doing? The rest of you sticking close? Are you making your own way? What are you guys doing?
I would say they're trying to dig up a small flower, and then I would have run along.
Perfect. So you'll be at the back?
I'll be at the back with Theo.
Killian, Jonah at the back. Tithla and Dracob must be in the middle.
Loitering and taking the time and just looking around mostly, and then, follow along.
Just looking around? Alright, perfect. So I'll leave you at the back with...
the flowers are probably very pretty, Tithla.
They're very pretty. They're gorgeous flowers.
I could try some. See if they're yummy.
It'd be medicinal.
You totally could. Brilliant. Okay. As you rush forwards, Grinner and Luther, as you get in line with the last row of trellises before this large, open, destroyed area, I'm going to need the two of you to make me dexterity saving throws, please.
Oh, knew something like this would happen. That's fine.
What do you mean?
Oh, that one.
Oh, no.
5.
Oh.
Okay. Natural 1 for Luther, 19 for Grinner.
I knew rushing forward wasn't going to do well for me.
I'll also get all of you to click on your tokens, please, and then please roll initiative too, if you could.
Yeah, good.
That'd be...
Why?
No reason. Nothing.
No reason?
Hey.
Why bother?
The natural 19.
We do love a good natural 19.
That one.
That should be a pretty good spot.
Oh, look at Jonah topping the list as well. Unheard of.
Look at him go. Look at him
Very
I mean,
go.
Theodore got a 19 with a -1 and got a crit.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let me describe
I do love
what
Theo's
happens.
lack of physical stats.
Yeah,
It's great, isn't it? It's a lot of fun. Let me describe what happens. As you rush forwards, Grinner and Luther, Grinner, it's probably more instinct than anything else that prevents you falling into trouble. Underneath your feet, the ground suddenly seems to shift and move, and it's pure chance that you are able to jump and almost vault whatever this is moving underneath the ground. You get a glimpse of what looks like writhing tentacles, these maneuvering vines that seem to wrap up and try and grab at you. You vault over and land. Luther, unfortunately, just behind you are not so lucky. As Grinner triggers whatever this is, you watch as dark reddish-green tendrils, these vine-like roots, rise up from the ground, wrapping around you and holding you tight as you are grappled and restrained by these vines.
Fun.
The first person to act, Jonah and Theodore, who has the highest dexterity out of the two of you?
+2.
-1.
Okay, Jonah, you're first.
Okay, so are these typical plant vines grabbing him, made of, a material that could be burnt?
They do look like they are... I mean, they look like vines. They look like roots, plants. It looks woody. Yeah, definitely looks like it could definitely burn, yeah.
Is it reaching up from below to grab him?
Yeah, it's pushed up from underneath the ground to grab at Grinner, but hasn't been able to, and so has grabbed and completely wrapped around Luther. In a moment, it has wrapped around him.
I hear the exclaim from Luther, and I like get my feet braced, get a firebolt curling around in my hand. I sort of stand to the side, look over the trestles, and then try to launch one at the base of Luther's feet. So, honestly, if I hit Luther as well with a firebolt, that's what's going to happen. The intent is just to try and
If I hit Luther as well, that's just what's going to happen, mate.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. The intent is try and burn away.
He dies.
Exactly.
He does.
Perfect. Do you want to roll me to attack with a firebolt? 22 is going to hit 7 fire damage. As you send forth this firebolt, Jonor, the fiery streak launches through the air and smashes into the base of the tendrils underneath Luther. Luther, the tendrils almost seem to have emerged from the flower next to you, the ground underneath it. And as the fire begins to burn up and down the tendrils, you are no longer grappled and restrained. However, the fire does seem to have an additional effect on the flower, and as the flames begin to burn away at the stem and roots hidden below the earth, you hear this unearthly screech from underneath the ground. And then you watch as the petals suddenly pull back and then explode in a cloud of spores. Luther and Grinner, you are both within range of this.
I need to breathe for this.
You do need to breathe for this. You are not
because
affected.
I do not need to breathe.
You are not affected by this. Yep, you don't need to. You're not affected. If you do not need to breathe, this doesn't affect you.
Yeah, we should all be vampires. That's great.
Grinner.
Is this?
Is everyone else's map okay?
Well.
No, ours were good.
That's for everyone else on the stream.
Nope, okay.
Death of Snakes is quite nice and handy.
You don't need to breathe. Grinner, while Jonor is reloading his roll 20, unfortunately, I am going to need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
I can do that.
You can do that. Brune, perfect timing to jump back in. This encounter is courtesy of one of the community. This is an encounter Brune suggested. This is his encounter.
Yeah, it's
all Brune's fault.
You too can create custom encounters by spending channel points. Grinner, 20 Constitution saving throw. As the tendrils of this plant that have emerged from underneath the ground grab at Luther, Jonor quickly sets off this firebolt, burning away at the roots. And this flower, in response, sends out this puff of almost like spores in the air. I mean, you act quickly. You've been in situations where, on a battlefield, an enemy combat mage has unleashed something like Stinking Cloud, and you've had to quickly pull your shirt up over to protect your face and prevent yourself breathing in harmful gases. You act almost on instinct, as this effect seems to muddle your mind and burn at your lungs. You quickly pull your shirt up over your nose and begin breathing through the fabric of your shirt, preventing these from poisoning you. You are not affected.
I've been around a war crime or two. Mustard gas is nothing.
I think we might have the new quote for Grinner. Jonor, anything else on your turn?
He's going to move upwards a couple of spaces and clamber himself onto the trestle just to get a better look. And that's all that he does.
Brilliant. I think that is a great idea. Next up in the initiative order is the man, the myth, the war criminal, Grinner.
Do I not get to go?
Theo.
Oh,
No, go
Theo.
for Theo.
Yeah, why did yours get skipped on my thing? Sorry, mate. There you go. I don't know why it skipped over you. Sorry, buddy.
Also the war criminal.
Sorry,
war
Theo.
crimes.
Sorry,
Party
mate. It is your
crimes.
turn.
Yeah, party crimes.
I will look truthfully. There's not much I can do if I'm not in bear form, so I'll be morphing back into a Bjornling, and then sprinting myself up recklessly because that's what friends do.
That is what friends do. I'll just double
That's
check. I
right.
think do I have the token for a Bayon? I think I do have one because we've used it before, haven't we?
I believe so. But
Here
the
we go.
usual move is just
It'll be his.
theatre of the mind for the Bjornling.
I don't have the Bayon, I have the Firav token. Let's use that for the meantime. You happy to use this token? It's nice and pretty. It's like a fox, deer, dove.
Is the Bjorning a medium or large creature?
Large.
Large, yeah.
Oh, but
wow,
sorry,
so
I
you take 4 squares.
I think at the moment, because you're playing the Bjorn Ling, right? Because you haven't. Have you unlocked the high level druid shapes yet for Circle of the Moon?
Not yet.
So I think this one's medium because it's like a younger Bjorn.
It says large beast.
Oh, there you go. No, I take it back. It is large beast.
Nice.
I think the Bjorn is huge.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, baby.
Let me give you control. Theo, you now have control of that.
Oh man, I recognise that token. That's a bit of a blast from the past.
I know, right?
Fun.
So Theo, in your current character size, are you considered to be a baby Bjorn?
Yeah,
he is a baby Bjorn.
Baby
Bjorn.
The elk.
He is considered a baby Bjorn. Theo, did you say you rushed up as well?
Yep.
Perfect. How much can you move? I think it's 40 feet.
I got 40, so that's probably a dash to get myself all the way there.
Like up towards them.
I also think
past?
I think that takes up 4 squares to the token rat for a large. Ooh. I think they get bigger.
Easy done.
Does that mean extra reach?
Oh, there we go. That's
sort of not so much like extra reach per se, but like he's got access to that area, like where his token.
I think the large you can like interact differently, like with weights and stuff like that.
Anything else on your turn, Theo?
No, I'll run up and any vines that remain visible, I'll slash and bite.
As you rush up and begin looking around, it does seem like this area is, the area around clearly has been corrupted by whatever is going on here. This area looks wrong. It looks bizarre, but no signs of any more of these vines. The problem, of course, being that they could be anywhere underneath the earth and you wouldn't necessarily see them. So it's hard to know.
I dashed. I'm not doing anything else, actually.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And that's, I was going to explain that as like, and then you rushed up to make sure you were in range, and that was it. Yeah. Alrighty, next in turn. Grinner, what's your dexterity?
Ooh, it is... how do I... hang on.
Just
13. So plus
13?
1.
You are not next, Grinner. Sorry about that, buddy. Oh no, I accidentally read the token thing. There you go. So as Theo rushes forwards and changes into his form, and then rushes forward to try and find what he can find. As Theo rushes up in line with the flowers, there's a sudden shifting of the earth, this tremor that runs through, and you watch Theo as in front of you this destroyed section of stump that once looked like it might have been a section of vines begins to shift and change. Tendrils begin rising up from it, and emerging from inside is this enormous shape, a collection of grasping vines surrounding a large woody center. Above it, flowers bloom high above the edge of this almost flower-like creature, and as it rises above, you can see tentacles underneath lifting up from the ground, and I have put a picture in chat for those of you who want to see.
And
this.
even the flora of Barovia is twisted.
Even the flora of Barovia is twisted.
Who was it that requested this? Because
Brune Brass Axe requested
Brune
this.
Brass Axe, you got issues. I'm sorry to break it to you like this.
As the corpse flower rises from the ground, it reaches over, looks almost like looking around. You can see tangled in the vines are skulls and bones and rotting husks of what look like probably were once people pulled into this. In fact, you can see the body of one of the guards of the Wachter family held aloft by one of the tentacles, and as it's pulled inside the central body of this thing, the sightless eyes, the mouth sort of slightly agape, the jaw on an angle, sort of moves and then is sucked inside the body of the corpse flower. It then reaches forwards and then thrusts a tentacle towards you, Theo. At the last second, right when it's about to hit you, it smashes into the ground next to you. And for a moment, the tentacle pulses with this dark red sap. And then rising next to you, you watch as a skeleton still rotting, covered in vines, pulls itself free of the earth as it moves towards you. The corpse flower is then going to then actually use its tentacle attack to then hit you, Theo. Does a... Sorry. I just teased you with this.
I'm safe.
Does a 19 hit?
Yeah, that'll hit.
What about a 15? I think that's a miss. Or is that just a hit?
It might. I'd need to.
Oh, you never. You never raged either, did you?
I haven't raged yet, but the only doesn't factor in my unarmored defense, so it's that plus con is 4. What's that? Yeah, 15 is my AC, unfortunately.
Damn, both of these are going to hit. For the first attack, I rolled as low as I possibly could. You take 1 bludgeoning damage. Sorry, not 1 bludgeoning. I rolled 2 ones. You take 4 bludgeoning damage as this smashes into you, followed by 11 poison damage. Sorry about that. You then take 9 bludgeoning damage for the second attack.
There's a total of 24 so far.
Followed by 10 poison damage.
Sorry, what?
Sorry, mate.
I'm still in Bjorling form. But
as these tentacles
34
reach out
damage was a bit of a hit to that.
and smash into you, the dark red sap burning through your veins, poisoning you as it does so. The corpse flower, it did have to move up to do that. I believe it's only got reach of...
with the poison,
10-foot reach. Sorry?
Has the poison got a saving throw or anything like that?
No,
or...
it does not. You just take the poison damage.
That's... Oh, okay, just take...
Right here, Burn.
Get the poison
The corpse flower, having hit you from 10 feet away, then moving on these tentacles, almost like an octopus, drags itself down towards the edge of the vineyard. Not able to move very far on account of being a plant, only a 20-foot speed, but does move itself a little bit further away from the rest of you. That's the corpse flowers go. Grinner, it's your turn. You don't like this special monster that one of the community summoned just for you?
No, fuck the community.
I would have thought it was in the module.
I don't like that. Okay, so Grinner's first things first. He's gonna rage. He's not about this shit, and it makes him cranky because he doesn't understand it. So he's gonna rage out. Oh no, he's not. He's actually out of rages until long rest, so he's not gonna rage.
That's too good.
But he's still very cranky about it, just not as cranky as he'd like to be. He's gonna run up to the cart wheel that is kind of part of the broken cart there on the ground.
Yeah.
He's gonna pick it up and rage yeet it at Planty Boy.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be a ranged simple weapon attack, which you have already pre-prepared on your character sheet.
Oh, wow, where'd that come from?
Owen made it when he helped you with your character sheet.
So, thrown improvised weapon, I'm assuming?
Thrown improvised weapon, yes.
So I'm not very good at that.
That's a shame. 8.
Yeah.
The wagon wheel just flies over the top of Theo and clatters into some bushes.
Yeah, so I get 2 attacks, so seeing that just...
There are 2 wagon wheels.
No, he gives up on that. He's going to run up and just punch the plant in the face.
It doesn't really have a face, but you can punch it in the writhing mass of skulls that make up its main body.
I'm going to actually try and... Rather than punch, I'm actually going to try and bowling ball one of the skulls. I want to, through the eye sockets in the mouth, I want to pick it up and, rip it out of its body. So it's got one less skull.
Okay. I'd say that's just an unarmed attack. Just a standard unarmed attack.
Hey. That is better.
That is going to be a 23. That definitely hits. As you smash into it, Grinner, punching through. Could you roll me some damage, please?
It should have already rolled there as well.
Oh, 6
but
bludgeoning
if it
damage.
hasn't-
You are correct.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
see it. Grinner, you have also moved within 10 feet of the corpse flower.
No,
I
I-
definitely
Not at all.
decided that.
I am going to need you to quickly make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Just for you, Owen.
Come on, you got good con. You
That
can do
one.
it. Oh.
That Grinner, you are poisoned until the start of your next turn. While you are poisoned, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Wait,
I love
the
that
start
for
of
me.
his next turn.
Yeah, until the start of his next turn.
Oh, hell yeah, you've already done your attacks.
Yeah, boy.
Technically, you should have had disadvantage for that unarmed strike. I am going to be an arsehole and make you reroll it.
Okay.
I'll keep the damage if it's a hit. I'll keep the 6 damage if it's a hit, obviously. But like, because
Obviously.
it's when you move within 10 feet. That's a 9. I'm going to reverse
Oh,
that damage as you punch it. For a moment,
Yeah.
Grinner, you think you've got this, and then the smell of this thing chokes your lungs, your nose. You vomit heavily, retching onto the ground in front of it. This thing smells of decay and death.
Owen, no.
It's not me. Talk to Brune. I didn't make this.
Yeah, no, not ours, bro.
Nothing to do with me, mate. I'm just the messenger. Next up in the
As
initiative,
you
if there's
have mod in the chat, don't you? You can ban.
I can
This
see, I
guy?
can ban Brune, yeah.
don't. And I've just taken away your mod powers. Grinner, is there anything else on your turn?
Yeah, I might just weep a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a free action. Luther, it's your turn.
Perfect.
You are no
is that
longer
corpse
restrained.
flower? I take it that it's large. But
It's large. Yeah. It's easily as big as Theo.
5, 10, 15. I can just sort of walk into this and over
Yeah.
it because of my spider clam.
100%.
That's okay. I got to move one more. I'll move there, so 15 feet.
Yeah, as you
I'm
rush
going
up
to
past
throw
the.
with my bonus action superiority dice stuff. I'm going to do the quick toss.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm going to throw. It's a quickie. And then I'm going to throw a net at it because the net says a large or smaller creature hit by a net is restrained until it's freed. So
Yeah.
I can use it on this,
Yep.
considering it's large. Anything above large, obviously, different story, but we're all G. So I'm going to do an attack.
And it's a dex save for me, if I remember correctly.
No, it's a
It's an
plus
attack.
9.
Yep, of course.
17 to hit.
Yep. 17 is. Nah, it hits. I'm kidding.
Nice. Perfect.
Definitely hits.
All right. So it's restrained now. Actually, that's a good question. Is it?
It's restrained.
Yeah. Okay. Because this is a different enemy than we normally find. It's a massive, weird corpse thing. One question I actually want to ask quickly. Luther's going to have a really quick look and see if he actually recognizes any of the slain bodies.
Oh,
Just in
you don't
case.
need to roll a check. 100%. You can see. I mean, you watched as one of the guards' bodies were pulled inside this thing.
Yep.
You can see 2 more of the Wokta guards still tangled within the vines, half emerging from inside the pods that dangle underneath its main body.
So so just guards for now. No one of actual.
No one important.
No signs of Stella.
Unusable
No signs
so
of
far.
Stella or Nikolai Wokta from where you are.
Okay. Well, I mean, may as well just. I'm going to bring out my sidearm, and I'm just going to unload shots into it. See how we go. So these are the advantage. 25 to hit, 6 piercing damage on the first one.
25 hits, obviously.
Yep. Oh, I forgot. I was meant to do sharpshooter for that actually too, because I 100% would have done it with advantage.
Yep.
Would you allow that? I didn't
yeah.
technically.
Sorry, I'm happy for you to. That's all right. You've said it every
100%
time. I'm happy for you to do
I
it.
would do it with at least this combo. So that's 16 damage. Let's do my next attack. So 24 to hit, 12 damage. I'll do sharpshooter again, obviously. So 22 to hit. So actually, I should say that 25 goes to 20 and the 24 goes to 19.
Yep.
But I don't think that
They both
changes
still
anything.
hit. No, doesn't change anything.
So I'm going to action surge as well. So we'll do a bit of.
You're just burning everything on this.
Hey, look, I got a this thing's a threat. So, it's a crit.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So 10,
7, 17. The sharpshooter is not damaged either, so it does not double. So 17, 27 damage with the crit.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
then
so it's one,
attack.
plus 1d, yeah, so plus a d10, so yeah, that's 17. Where'd you get 27 from?
So
Because it's
so
7,
I
because
did
you rolled
7.
1d10 plus 4, so it was a 3 plus 4 is 7.
So
and
we
then
do
you
the
get
max.
No,
so you get the 10 again, so that's 17.
Yeah, and then the sharpshooters.
Oh, adds 10, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I thought you were.
so we do
I thought
the
you were.
max.
No, all good.
Yeah. So it's 17, 27 because of adding sharpshooter on the crit.
Yep.
And then I rolled a 20 and a 21, 13 damage, 23 damage. Do we need a calculator?
No, I've been adding them as we go, and it's all there, so I can just easily pull it open each time. Do you want me to give you the total? I can tell you the total damage again if you'd like to know.
Let's go with it.
Let me just finish the 13 and the 5. No, it's just the 13. All right, that is 54 points of damage.
Yeah,
if my math is correct.
Dude.
Fuck. That's solid payback for what it did to me.
Because the first attack was the 25 and the 20, so we take the 25. That's 6 piercing damage, because it's always the first damage. Then plus
16 though, because of the sharpshooter.
Oh, because the sharpshooter. Sorry, you are right. I'm missing a 10 on that. 64 points of damage in a single turn.
That's 40 in total.
Yeah. 64 points of damage in a single turn as you just lower your pistol.
That is an action surge though, admittedly.
Yeah.
I almost like to think that I almost like cock it in and just like, you know how like the cowboys sort of, they just go like rapid, like they just like chuck a bunch of shots in, like just the hammer like just going crazy on the pistol.
Yeah. As you drop this damage, as you just lower, the bullet seems to burn as it comes out of the chamber, almost the friction heating it up. And as it strikes into the heart of the corpse flower, it burns and cauterizes the tendrils around. You watch as a number of the flowers immediately catch fire. The creature pulling back, screeching as it moves away from you, seemingly not very keen on what you've just done.
Oh, don't know why. No, perfect. Cool. Bonus action done, main action done. I'm gonna just use my remaining movement to clamber in here and get any cover I can from the wagon.
Yep.
Whatever that looks like.
Not much, unfortunately, because it's like broken over and destroyed. But yeah, you can like.
That's no issue. No issue. Cool. I've still got some superiority die left. I only used one actually in that, so the action surge is gone though, which that's its main thing. So cool. I think I'm good.
Tithla, it is your turn.
Don't you hurt my friends?
Oh, wait, hang on. That was the threshold. Cool. There's one thing I need to add before you have your turn, Tithla. As this massive blast goes off and the flowers of the corpse flower begin to burn, you watch as a number of pods drop from its body. The corpse is almost just falling out from within it, one of the guards dropping to the ground underneath it. As that happens, the ground around the vineyard begins to tremble a little bit, and you watch as rising from the earth all around this, skeletons, half-digested warriors begin to pull themselves free of the earth as they pull themselves up into view. Tithla, it is now your go.
Yeah?
I've done the math real quick, Owen. I think I actually did more damage.
How much more did you do? How much am I missing?
Because I'm doing the calculator. 16, 22, 27. That's already 65. And then incorporating 88 damage, actually.
Holy shit.
Sorry.
No.
I just, because I thought I would have a quick look just in case. And
no, absolutely. I must have missed one of the rolls as they were spewing up in my log.
No, that's fine. It got a little bit chaotic because there was so much advantage there because of the net. Man, that quick toss of the net is so fun with the combo.
Yeah.
Tithla, it is your go.
Don't you hurt my friends!
Amazing.
She go for it? What?
Amazing.
Thank you. I try to be consistent, if nothing else. She takes a couple of steps forward just to be able to get a slightly better view on everything. And as she's running, she pulls out a berry out of her pocket, throws it at the corpse flower, casting Hunter's Mark to try and get a little splat on it.
Nice. Yep, I will add a little Hunter's Mark symbol.
And then she stops, steadies herself, pulls out her bow, takes 2 shots.
Boom, boom, boom. You have
With
advantage. It is currently
Sorry.
restrained.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Advantage, my heroes, and then she's also going to have Dracob infuse that if it hits. Because
Yeah.
she's close with the Dracob.
God, it makes me so happy that Dracob's its name now.
Well, that was a 19 on the first roll. Okay.
28.
So
That's going to hit.
28 on
That's
the first.
definitely going to hit.
So that is how much damage? That is. Oh, why is that not popping up on my screen?
6 damage.
6 plus. Next
Hunter's
to
mark.
D6 from the infused.
Plus 5,
5.
11. And your Hunter's Mark
Plus-
damage too.
The Hunter's Mark. Sorry, there's too many tabs to try and click around. They're
That'd
all
be
in different
good.
places. And that is that 1d6 there. Plus the 6.
Oof, okay. Very, very nice. 17 points of damage. And your second shot?
And then we'll try it again. Does this also have advantage?
It's still restrained in the net.
Lovely. Well, it's still 28. 2 rolls hit 19. That's unfortunate.
Wow. Roll some damage. 28, 22. We'll take the 28 because that is advantage.
That's 11 plus
Hunter's Mark.
that
I
1d6.
believe you still get the Hunter's Mark. Yeah. 2.
Yep.
13
13.
more points of damage. Wow. As these 2 arrows slice through, you watch as 2 more of these large budding flowers on the back of this corpse flower are just severed through, broken into, like pierced by this arrow that flies across. And as the flowers begin spewing out more of this red sap around it, the corpse flower is looking very hurt.
That's right. I'm the nature one here, not you.
Anything else on your turn, Tifla?
I don't want to do anything else other than sledge.
Great. In that case, then Dracob takes the dodge action on his turn, straight after you. Alrighty. The skeleton archers. You watch as the 3 skeletons that pulled themselves forward and began pulling themselves out of the mud. The ones at the back move forward and then begin pulling out these rotten bows. They're going to take 2 shots each. The one closest to you, Luther, is going to go for you. The one closest to you, Grin, is going to go for you. The one closest to you, Thea, is going to go for you because you guys are the closest, and you're the ones nearest to the host. Luther,
Sorry,
let's
can I be
do you
annoying?
first. Yeah, go.
Dracob can move on his own. So
Yeah,
I
where would you
assume
like to move
he'd probably
Dracob to?
come with me.
Okay, perfect.
It's up to he moves on his own, but I assume he'd
Yeah.
come near me.
Well, I think he has to be within range of you for the infuse anyway.
Yeah, but that's 30 feet.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. You got loads of room. Alrighty.
So
Let's have a look-see here. No, all good. Alright, so...
I can't move him.
Oh, do you not have permission to move Dracob?
No.
I'll give you permission right now. Sorry
Apologies. That was the basis of that.
Here you go. Controlled by Titha. There you go. You should have control now.
Yep,
All right,
thank
Luther, does an 18 hit you?
Yes, it does.
That is going to be 7 points of piercing damage. Luther does if an 18 hits, then a 20 is going to hit.
Yep.
That is going to be 8 points of piercing damage. Grinner does a 14 hit? Guessing not.
That's my armor class.
It does hit then. Grinner,
Oh,
that's
man.
going to be max damage, Grinner. No, it's minimum. Three points of damage. Grinner for the second shot does 17 is definitely going to hit you then if 14 is your armor class. That's going to be 7 points of piercing damage. Theo, 10 doesn't hit you.
It does not.
Neither does a 13, does it?
Get some. The 2L Bjornling stays on.
Don't celebrate too soon. That was just the skeleton archers. Remember, there's also the skeleton warriors.
Fuck.
They're going to move up.
He
as
doesn't want to hit me. There's plenty of better
5,
targets.
10,
nearby.
15. Tithla, you're going to be within range of this.
Where'd you come
Theo,
from?
there's already one on you. Luther, there's going to be one on you too. Unfortunately, you guys are just the closest to where they've popped in. They also both get a multi-attack as well. Luther, does a 16 hit you?
That's my armor class.
16 does hit in that case. That's going to be 9 points of slashing damage.
I just realized.
Yeah. Yo.
Because I'm using the gunner feat, I ignore the loading property of my pistol.
Yeah.
And I'm using the pistol one-handed. I 100% could probably have a shield.
Yeah,
I
you
haven't
probably
used
could.
it.
Yeah.
So that would be something to think of in a later date.
Good news. Good news is, Luther, I know for a fact this one hits you because it is a natural 20. That is going to be, what's that?
What's attacking me?
16. What was that? Sorry.
Oh, the archers are shooting.
No, it's the warriors now. So the
warrior.
archers and warriors all go on the same turn because I accidentally deleted their initiative token. Luther, that is going to be 16 points of slashing damage for the second attack.
Okay. So...
Grinner, there is no warrior close
How much
to you.
was the first one, sorry?
The first one was 9.
Was it 9?
Yeah, 9. 9 and then 16. 25 total. Theo.
Come on.
9 doesn't hit you, does it?
Does not.
What about a 14?
No. Yes.
I can't hit Theo. I can't bloody hit you. What is this? Tithla, I can hit you. 21?
No.
And what about a 19, Tithla? Do they both hit you? What is this?
They both hit.
It's like Theo is like immune from dice rolls tonight. I cannot hit you.
One shot by a plant.
I can't believe that I cannot hit you tonight. Tithla, that's going to be 8 points of slashing damage for the first attack. And for the second attack, it's only going to be 6.
Mm-hmm.
That is all of the skeletons. Killian! It is your go, Blood Mage.
Oh no! I am going to run, sort of hop over Jacob and land here. And as I hop over him, I begin to summon a blood spear in my hand, and I just lob that straight at the warrior that is attacking Tifla using
Brilliant.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch
which
Blast.
I've lost. Oh, there is. Ooh, 24 to hit.
That definitely hits.
That is going to be 8 points of force damage.
Yep. You watch as the entire rib cage is blasted out by this attack.
And if it's still up and I land on the floor, I will summon a Blood Ninja Star and I will lob that at it for the second Eldritch Blast.
Brilliant.
That is a 22 to hit.
That definitely hits. Let's see some damage.
That is 9 points.
Killian, how do you want to do this?
As the Ninja Star enters into the rib cage, the blood just expands outwards and causes it to explode into a million bits of bone shrapnel.
With a you watch as the skeleton just crumbles, being exploded from within by this blast of blood magic. Anything else on your turn, Killian?
I'll just look at Tiff and go, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
She is okay. Jonor, it's your turn.
He jumps off this vine wall and runs straight towards the rest of the creatures. He gets to this next hurdle and is going to try and jump over that one if he uses any movement or not to get over that next one.
They're not high enough for you to they're only like waist height. It's
for sure.
You just vault it.
It is Jonor though.
It is Jonor. Can I have an acrobatics check, Jonor?
Absolutely. Not a worry.
Don't roll under a 10 and you'll be sweet, mate. 21. Jonor, you do a flip. Or maybe a barrel roll?
Cool. Yeah, let's say barrel roll. He is like over his back on top of the wood frame, and then just rolls on, keeps on going.
Nice.
That speed just keeps on going. He goes to the right and goes as far as he can. He sort of ducks down behind the wooden frame and sees that archer in the distance and hurls a firebolt its way to the northernmost archer.
Yep, I see ya. 9 to hit. The firebolt fizzles out as it flies over the edge of the vineyard.
And with that, he doesn't do anything else. That's it.
Okay. Theo, it's your turn. You are starting within 10 feet of one of the rotten zombies produced from the corpse flower. I am going to get a constitution saving throw, please.
Sure. Is this a spell effect?
Not a spell effect. This is just the stench of death and decay.
Oh, I'm glad I'm in Bjornling form for this.
Keen senses. I'd almost be tempted to give you disadvantage because of keen senses, but no.
Doesn't really matter.
5. You are poisoned until the start of your next turn.
Great. I am going to do my. I don't actually know if I've done this before. My combat wild shape to
Regain hit points.
Yes, so I'm going to sync. I have second level spells now, so I'm going to drop a second level spell slot to recover 2d8's worth of hit points.
Very nice.
Come on. Good roll.
Combat wild shape, baby. As you concentrate, Theo, the magic summoned from within surrounds your Beornling form, and you regain 3 hit points.
No, 2.
Oh, 2d8. Sorry, the 8 and the 3.
3.
Yeah, nice. 11 hit points. Very
Not
nice.
bad. I'll cop it.
Anything else on your turn, Theo?
Yes, that was just a bonus action.
Brilliant.
I will also be hitting said skeleton right next to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Disadvantage.
Yeah, disadvantage. But that's okay.
Sorry, buddy.
I'll go the claws and just try and slap its ribcage out.
Brilliant. 20 hits, 11 damage.
Wait, disadvantage. Give me a sec. I forgot to hit.
That's true. Nope, that's a good point. These don't have super high AC. Yeah, 25. 11 damage. Brilliant.
Really good.
You get another attack, do you not?
I do. I divide it.
Brilliant.
Just checking that it wasn't dead.
It's not dead yet. It looks very close to death. As you claw out its ribcage, one of its arms falling off and shattering on the ground. 11 is just not enough. We'll see what your second roll is. 25. Sorry, 11 is just not enough. As you go to destroy this skeleton, it's just still up. Anything else in your turn, Theo?
That's bonus action done.
The corpse flower. The corpse flower is going to move out of Grinner's range. Grinner, you are still poisoned until the start of your turn. So if you want to make an attack of opportunity, this will be with disadvantage.
It is currently restrained.
Oh, true. I should make is it a strength check to escape? I think it is from memory. We have a look. Net 5e. Pretty sure it is.
A creature can use its action to make a DC 10 strength check, freeing itself or another creature within its reach on a success.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll make a strength check for it. What's the DC?
You can also
to
deal
escape?
5 slashing damage to the
10.
net. It also frees the creature if you do 5 slashing damage to it.
Is it only 10 to escape?
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
only 10 to escape.
That was 11. It's just escapes.
Was somebody grappled by it when it came out of the ground?
No. Luther was grappled by some tendrils from deep underneath. While it remained hidden, it could attack from underneath, but then when you burned it, it revealed itself. Grinner, the corpse flower moves away from you towards one of the skeleton archers. Did you want to make an attack of opportunity?
I do, but it's a disadvantage. So.
It is, I'm sorry to say.
Nat 1.
Oh, mate, I'm so sorry. As the corpse flower moves over to one of the zombie archers, the skeleton archers, you watch as the tendrils reach out, grab onto it, and pull it within itself, tearing it apart. As it does so, the red sap begins to pulse, and you watch as the creature heals itself ever so slightly.
Hate that.
That's going to be... Oh, that's not bad. Brilliant. Seems to heal itself a little bit. That's actually all its movement. It uses action to escape, bonus action to reabsorb the skeleton, digest. That's it. Grinner, it's your turn. You are no longer poisoned.
Good. Let's see if we can change that again. I'm going to run up to it and attack it.
Brilliant. I thought that might be the case. We've gone very much over. I did want to finish this encounter in one go, but we might have to pause it.
I'm gonna attack it using the Tavern Brawler, which I believe allows me to grapple it as well, if I remember correctly. What is it? When you make an unarmed strike with an improvised weapon on your turn, you use a bonus action to attempt to grapple. Cool. So I'm going to attack it and attempt to
grapple.
Nat 20.
Let's roll some damage first. So that's 7 bludgeoning damage, plus a d4 takes that to 11 bludgeoning damage. And would you like to attempt to grapple? I believe you still have another strike. You don't have to use your bonus action right away. You can attack it again and then grapple.
Yeah, right. I'll do that. I'm going to punch it again.
Yeah. 25. 5 bludgeoning damage. And you wanted to grapple it. I believe you make an athletics check. And it can make an acrobatics or athletics check. No, you make an acrobatic. No, it is athletics, and it can make an acrobatics or athletics, depending what it prefers. Yeah. No, you grapple it. You grab onto it and hold it down.
You're nice.
Anything else on your
That's
turn,
me.
Grinner? Perfect.
That's me.
Luther.
See, I told you, good at hugging.
Luther, your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot this skeleton warrior, hopefully in the face, and just take it out. Okay, so I'm gonna do an attack. I'm gonna use sharpshooter on the attack. 24 to 19 to hit.
Definitely.
So 19 damage because of the plus 10. So 19 damage. Still up?
No. How would you like to do this?
Perfect.
Hey.
Because sharpshooter, I'm gonna aim for like a structural point in the skeleton, and the bullet's just gonna pierce through it and cause it to just crumble from hitting a structural point.
There is one thing though. You're within range of one of the skeleton warriors.
Do I need to do that for the deathless
You don't
nature and
need
the
to
breathing?
breathe. Let me have a quick look what it specifically says about the stench
have a
of
look.
death. It does specifically say it is a stench of death. It says, unless the creature is a construct or an undead. But it does specifically say stench, so I'm actually going to rule you don't need to make the save because it's specifically the smell of death.
Sure.
How
I
do
just
you want to do
basically
this?
just don't breathe anything in. Perfect. Yeah, like I said, just structural point and it crumbles in front of me.
Brilliant. As the bullet pierces through the inner workings, whatever the heart stem of this creature is, it writhes in pain, lashing out. Grinner, you duck underneath one of these vines that wraps above your head, almost striking you. As the creature lets out this horrific screech and drops lifeless to the ground, all around you, you watch as the beautiful blue and purple flowers wither, fading away into this rotten black form. And the skeletons, the zombies that have been summoned by it, drop as if puppets with their strings cut.
Thank God for that.
Is where we're going to wrap up for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. That was a little bit longer than we normally do. Thank you for sticking around with us. Yeah?
I'm going to give a quick shout out to Brunax. I might have done 88 damage to it, but it also apparently did 40 damage to me in one round too. So like with the skeletons and the archers. So it was a tick for tat game. So
yeah, that was...
And on
It
that
did
point,
34 to me in one go and summoned some skeletons. So
on that point,
not fuck around.
for the record, I'm on 7 health. So yeah,
even though we defeated it and none of us went down, that was
awesome.
close victory for us.
It was good.
Yeah, definitely awesome.
I sort of had like a tiered system to bring in creatures once it got past certain health points, just in case of a sudden like over rush of damage, because it can summon zombies as a bonus action each round. But then we also paired it with some skeletons because by itself it was a medium difficulty encounter. So then I had to bum rush in all the skeletons when you dealt 88 fucking damage in a turn. It was gonna happen like I had like different tiers, and as you crossed each tier, a new skeleton was gonna be brought in. You triggered every tier in one attack. Or not one attack, but in one round. It was insane. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brune, for summoning that creature. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It has been wonderful seeing all your lovely faces. We are going to have to rush away now, but if you're watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We're going to go raid Corsair's Cove. Everyone else, if you're watching on YouTube or on the podcast, thank you so much. Consider hitting that subscribe button on YouTube. We've only got 70 more legends to go before we smash that YouTube partner program goal. In terms of watch hours, I think we had to get to 4,000. We're currently at 29,000 watch hours. So I think we've probably just crossed that threshold. So it's just the numbers left for subscriber count. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again really soon. Until then, goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.